utility he brings our offense.
Greg, you guys play in the only division with 3 MVP quarterbacks. You're playing in a division where all 3 teams with those quarterbacks have been to the Super Bowl. I assume that makes the season harder, but I'm guessing there are some benefits to going through that type of gauntlet, assuming you do get to the postseason. What are some of the pluses and negatives of how brutal the NFC South can be?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is pretty much what you just said. This is a quarterback-driven league, and if you look around, you know, certain divisions that have been dominated for, you know, in some cases 10-plus years, typically they're very top-heavy with quarterback play, and the other 3 or 2 teams tend to have a kind of rotating band there. And you know, the reality is in our league for the last almost decade, at least 3 of the teams, and now you could argue all 4 teams, have, you know, high-level elite quarterback play. And I think that, you know 6 games a year, your division games are going to be tough. You're going to have 3 on the road that you're going to try to go and steal a few, and you got to hold your own at your own place. So it leaves those other 10 games for what they are. But you know you're going to have 6 of the 16 are going to be tough. They're going to be back and forth. They could be high scoring. They could be low scoring, and that's played out over the last couple of years. And there's not a lot of divisions around the league that can say that on a year in, year out basis. But we happen to be in one of them. But to your other point, it prepares us. We've played in a lot of different styles. We've played in a lot of different, hostile environments. You go down on the road to New Orleans late in the season with the division on the line, or like last year we had to do in the playoffs, or you go to Atlanta with things on the line. I mean, those are hard places to play on the road in a dome. So I think that does prepare us for what's out there around the rest of the league. But, if you're asking would we rather play in some other divisions, I think we'd be lying if we said no.
Greg, you've been a dominant tight end in the NFL for a long time. Yourself, Rob Gronkowski, there's some others out there. Tell me, who are the tight ends that you like? Kind of give me your top 4 or 5 tight ends who you feel are the best in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, you name 2 of them there. Obviously, what Gronk's been able to do in his career up there in New England with Brady is pretty special. I know he's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start after week 1 this year, but I think a lot of that is just, a credit to him and just how much defenses really game plan him. I don't think, offensively right now, New England is where they're typically used to being. So he's carrying a lot of that load right now until Edelman gets back and they get Josh Gordon up to speed. But as long as he has Brady, as long as the team has Brady, he has Brady, obviously they got a shot. I think what they do with Kelsey in Kansas City is pretty cool. I've watched a lot of what they do with him over the years since Andy Reid's joined them. And, with Tyreek Hill and Hunt at running back, and then Kelsey, what he can do, and now they add Sammy Watkins. I mean, they got a lot of weapons. So, complete opposite of Gronk, if you're going into a game to take Kelsey away, you got your hands full about 3 or 4 other guys. So I think teams tend to, play them a little bit more honest, and I don't think anybody's kind of solved that riddle, at least through the first 3 games this year. Before he retired, a guy, I know he doesn't play anymore, but a guy that I always mentioned, he was my high school, my recruiting host when I went to the University of Tennessee as a high school senior, was Jason Witten. I always, again, not the flashiest guy, not a guy that was the highlight reel guy, but just a reliable guy, a consistent guy. Teammates loved him. People around the league had a lot of respect for him. He was a guy I always kind of emulated myself after. I wanted a team that, the defensive coordinator comes up to you and tells you how much he appreciates you, but you're not the guy everyone's always talking about. You're not the guy, dancing and making all the scenes. That was kind of always something I modeled myself after. So Jason had a big impact on me in that regard.
Greg, just so people don't think you chose groceries as your decorative background for the interview with us this morning, tell us why you are here this morning.
Yeah, so I've teamed up with Walgreens and P&G. I'm sure just like you guys and all the folks watching this, I have 3 young kids. Our household is chaotic and hectic and busy, and it takes a lot to run those houses. So with teaming up with them, and they're, for the month of October, they're running a campaign called the BOGO 50 Blitz. You can go get any certain participating P&G products at your local Walgreens, and you can get that same product 50% off. And through the month of October, just to be able to stock up on things that we all know we take for granted on a daily basis that it takes to run our household, provide for our children. It's a really cool campaign. I'm happy to work with them because I know what it's like. I see what my wife has to do on a daily basis, providing for 3 little crazy ones. And it's been a lot of fun, and it's been cool working with them.
All right, Greg, just to recap, If Cam Newton throws for over 400 yards, you will wear a bathrobe to the press conference. Did we agree on
Whatever
that?
Cam was going to wear, he's going to wear.
Okay, we want to make sure we had that solidified.
Deal.
And it's out
It's on the
ether.
record.
Okay,
it's on the record.
If he's going to join his boy Jason Witten in the Monday night booth.
Give him some help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Craig.
We really appreciate it. Good luck with your healing the rest of the way. We got much more First Things First right after this.
Get healthy, buddy.
The most feared army of all time never lost. They just waited 2,000 years for the perfect time to come back. They've been different now, but you still can't get through their walls, and their weapons have changed. But if you ask for them, they'll still tell you the same thing. Malone LaBe, come and take them.
Oh, boy. Hey, Joy, a lot of people, not a lot of parties.
Yeah, they're only supposed to play in the playlist.
I can't stream out here. Joy can. She's got the new iPhone on Verizon.
Yeah, got it. Best phone, best network.
Nice. And only Verizon gives you 6 months of free Apple Music. Daryl, no. Read the room. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. I did it. DJ!
Some things should never change, like the crisp, cold refreshment of Busch. But some things should, like Frank's Camp Soft. Belly buttons are funny. Are you an innie or an outie? What do you got? Innie. Tell me what you got. Outie. Tell me what you got. Innie. We've got 3 innies and only 1 outie. What are the chances? Yeah, wow.
When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Smoothies. It starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Howdy, folks. For under $20, you can fill up with KFC's 10-piece chicken feast and even have some leftover in case a guest drops by. A motorcycle at the table? I do not approve! It's 10-piece, and it's a feast.
Introduces the Jurassic World VR Expedition game. Play the all-new VR game and experience the exhilarating action of Jurassic World like never before. And play 5 other games for free, only at Dave & Buster's.
Today's Best Western rewards you in a flash. Get a free night pass with points that never expire at over 4,200 hotels worldwide. And get double rewards points on every stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Shoes off! Belts off!
That's why I wear Skechers slip-on shoes. They're comfortable, and they come in a variety of styles. They slip on and off easily as well.
You're Tony Romo.
I am.
You still gotta lose the belt. Come on.
Listen to comfort with Skechers slip-ons.
Ever notice that the farther away you go, the closer together you feel? Memories built to last in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe.
First Things First is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get.
Back here, First Things First, we're joined by former Super Bowl champ Chris Canty. What's up, Chris?
Nothing much, Jenna. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing great. New York City, pouring rain, cloudy, but I am doing great. What?
Don't tell the people the weather. Let's go. Unless it's good. Sunny here in New York.
Sunny here in New York. It's a beautiful day. Good game Sunday with the Saints and Giants. Saints offense led by Drew Brees. At 39 years old, he hasn't slowed down one bit, leading the Saints to the third most points per game. So what's the problem? Well, his defense has given up the most points in the league per game. Needless to say, Saints will have their hands full with Odell Beckham Jr. on Sunday. OBJ, though, has yet to score a touchdown this season. He knows he's got some work to do.
There's still been times where, you're coming back and I'm used to everything, but it's like you're scared to hit. You're scared to just hit it like you used to. And I seen one opportunity that I missed, and I was upset about it. It was a slant, and it cleared out for me. It was perfect, and I kind of slowed down and just hesitated a little bit for a second. And that could have been the difference. That's the ones that go 60 or 70. So I was a little upset by that. I'm definitely not content. I feel like I could always do more, and that's always going to be my mentality. I go for 500 yards, and I'll still look back at that one pass that you didn't get, and it's like, wow, I could have went for 560. And you know what I mean? That's just how my mind is. That's just how I'm built. That's how I'm wired.
So, Chris, I understand he, like other players, want to get better, but did that surprise you a little bit that 2 games in, he's still maybe like a step or two hesitant, doesn't feel 100% comfortable and confident yet?
No, it doesn't surprise me because he only played in a handful of games last year, and you saw that he got injured early on. So you expected that coming back, there would be a little bit of that hesitancy. He didn't play in the preseason. So being in NFL, you have to adjust to game speed. There's one thing to practice, but then once you get out there in actual games, especially meaningful games in the regular season, it's an uptick in tempo. So I think Odell is adjusting to that. But in terms of his production, I think he's been outstanding. I mean, you look at it, he's got 24 catches on 35 targets and 271 yards, which is 12th in the NFL at wide receiver position. So it's not like Odell isn't producing. I just look at this offense and I say, Eli Manning hasn't had the time to get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball downfield. You look at some of the opportunities that they missed in the Texans game. You look at some of the opportunities that they missed in the first 2 games, particularly in that Jacksonville Jaguars game. You saw that the offensive line was so bad that Eli Manning didn't have time to go through the progression and actually deliver the football to Odell downfield. Out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, Eli Manning has the most sacks with less than 2.5 seconds in the pocket.
So then tell me that's
unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. So how does this offense take advantage of this Saints defense that obviously hasn't done much this year?
Well, I think you have to take a page out of what Pat Shurmur's formula was in that Texans game last week. They had the most rush attempts out of any game they played in last week, and part of that is playing with the lead because they scored on all 4 of their offensive possessions in the first half. But also, I think it's that center guard trio with John Greco, Patrick Omame, and Will Hernandez. Those guys doing a lot better on the combination blocks, being able to chip off of the down lineman, climb to the second level. That's when you get more consistency in the run game. That's why we saw Saquon Barkley, the 4, the 5, the 6-yard gains. Rather than just hitting a home run, being able to consistently get production in the run game takes a lot of pressure off of the passing game, and you saw opportunities open up in that Texans game, and Eli Manning was able to take advantage of it.
Well, the game I had last week, New Orleans, overtime, 43-37 over Atlanta. Since 2016, New Orleans has scored 40 points 8 times. So whatever OBJ and Eli, whatever, they better get it worked out because New Orleans can score the football. They attack you in a variety of different ways. This is the last game that Ingram is serving his suspension. So, Kamara is handling the ball out of the backfield. In the backfield and catching the ball plenty out of the backfield. So they are going to have a heavy workload because they know that they're getting Ingram back next week. Drew Brees, I believe, I've seen him play a lot of good football, but this is the best that I've seen him play. His ability to be able to get the ball into tight spots, to get the ball out of his hand, to avoid the blitzes, to avoid sacks as a quarterback, he's playing at an all-time level. And I believe they're going to put a lot of stress on this defense. So when you talk about OBJ, the one thing you have to be careful when you're a number 1 receiver and you see a team that's giving up a lot of yards, don't calculate in your head, oh, man, I'm going to have 8 for 150 against them, because those are the games when you think that way, you have a hard time because you have too high expectations. Go out there and act like you're facing a Dallas defense, a Texans defense, or a Jacksonville defense. That's the way he should do it. A lot of times if you don't have that same intensity in preparing, you say, man, this defense ends up playing better. So that's one thing that I would watch with OBJ, that when you're a dominant receiver and you're going against a defense, that you see the film, they're like, man, they're not very good. You have to trick yourself in the game into thinking this team will play their best game of the season.
All right, you guys have talked about everything around this game except for really focusing on one guy, and that's the guy I'm going to be focused on this week, and that's number 10. Because you mentioned that Drew Brees is having the best start to any season of his career, and every quarterback they're facing, that Saints defense is turning into a better version of Drew Brees. Drew Brees, a 120 rating this year. The quarterback's going against the Saints, a 140 rating this year. 11 yards per pass attempt, not completion, attempt against this Saints defense. I understand the offensive line is not good. I need to see Eli Manning have a big football game. I thought Eli Manning played well in the game against Houston. I thought it was clearly his best game of the year. His worst game of the year was the first one. He's gotten better each week. I'm not saying the Giants have to go win this game. New Orleans is a good team. But this would be a hell of a time to break that 2.5-year haven't scored 30-point streak. Like, this would be a great time to actually show a pulse on offense legitimately. Last week, 27 points. That's a pulse, so I should be fair there. But this is a game where everyone has taken advantage of the Saints defense. Eli should be able to as well, offensive line woes notwithstanding.
Yeah, I think you saw it trending that way against the Texans game. I mean, just the command that he had of that offense and then being able to throw the ball downfield. I mean, the one throw that he had early in the second quarter to OBJ on that 7-cut, that's a special throw in between coverage. There are only a few quarterbacks in our league that can consistently make that play happen, but that's what Eli Manning is when he gets the time. You saw when the Texans had that late touchdown drive, Eli Manning led a drive of his own, and he went 6 for 6 for 76 yards in that touchdown to Sterling Shepard. He answered right back. That's what this team needs Eli Manning to be able to do. The only problem that I've had is that with the juggling of this I think Pat Shurmur helped those guys by being able to commit to the run game. Because guess what? Those offensive linemen, they're a lot better going forward than they are going backward in pass protection.
Speaking of the run game, you brought up Alvin Kamara and what he's had to do and been able to do with Ingram out, being used both to run and in pass-catching mode. But is that sort of the way the Giants and Pat Shurmur want to use Saquon Barkley? Would they be able to use him in sort of a similar fashion?
That's what you want to see. And, I mean, Sean Payton is the mad scientist. Like, he will throw the ball to the running back, and if you don't cover him, like, he will continue to throw to him. But in a perfect world, that's the type of mix that you want. Because also, receiving out of the backfield is not going to put a lot of wear and tear on Barkley as a young player. I would just be careful. Even at Penn State, if there was one question mark about him, you don't see him with 25 carries at Penn State. You don't see him at the end of the game have 8 straight carries. So once you get into pro football, is he capable of that type of workload? If there is a weakness, it's just because we just have not seen it.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. Stick around, Katie. Coming up, did Jared Goff and the Rams solidify themselves as the best team in the National Football League? Next on First Things First.
When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Smoothies. It starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
We're more than just $7.99 large 2-topping pizza delivered.
Hey, B, is this it?
We're an end zone dance on your doorstep. No one outpizzas the Hut.
The demands are greater. The expectations higher. The jobs tougher. The world moves faster. So we made your truck even more capable. with legendary Hemi power. No wonder more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
During Ram Power Days, get an average $10,433 in total values on select all-new 2019 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring. But we do know who will solve them.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
My car is a lot like your car. We both deal with the wear and tear of stop-and-go driving. And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetics from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
Daily dollar deals are here at Long John Silver's, where you can get a different deal every day. Like sliders, Baja fish tacos, and popcorn shrimp. Popcorn chicken, crab cakes, and sweets. All for just $1 each. Only at Long John Silver's.
Take your razor, yep. Up and down, never side to side, Shaquem. You got it? Come on, stay focused.
All work, baby. Okay, on.
Say there was a new kind of place. The perfect place for the everyday things you need to take care of around the house. The squeaky hinges and burned out bulbs. The toilets that run and faucets that don't. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It'd be just the right size. It would be an Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their stuff. Welcome to the home convenience store.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Fragrance. Yes, not all.
First Things First is sponsored by DraftKings. Play free this Sunday for your share of over $1 million. DraftKings. Back here, First Things First, Chris Cady still with us. If there were any questions about Jared Goff last night, there are none this morning. Vikings and Rams. The Rams quarterback finished with career highs of 465 yards and 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. The first Rams quarterback with 5 TDs since Kurt Warner did it back in 1999. Goff finished with a perfect passer rating last night. So the Vikings are now 1-2-1 with the loss. Rams are 4-0 with the win. That for the first time in 17 years.
We were trying to get everything we wanted in the run and the pass, and just the way the game was going, I think we knew with the way their offense was moving the ball, we had to score a lot of points, and sometimes that's the way it goes. But either way, we put up points. Sometimes we go down there and Todd scores a bunch of touchdowns, and sometimes we throw them. So it's just the way our offense is.
At the end of the day, I think he's just throwing the ball extremely well. He's able to, when things are in rhythm, he's been outstanding, giving guys a chance to run after the catch. And then you look at a couple of the plays where we ended up running some bootlegs, and he's going to his left, getting his shoulders around, hitting Cooks in stride, hitting Robert Woods. So there's a handful of plays that he made tonight that are just a great player, making great plays. But then also when things were there in rhythm, I thought he was outstanding.
All right, Chris Cady, what did you take out as the key in this game on how the Rams were able to dominate?
Well, I think it was Jared Goff's ability just to distribute the football. He took what the defense gave him, and he made some really accurate throws. But the throw that probably impressed me the most was the touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks, because the criticism on Jared Goff was they didn't know whether or not he had the arm talent that goes along with being the #1 overall pick. But I think that you saw that, being able to put that ball right there for Brandon Cooks with Trey Waynes in tight coverage. That's a special throw. Also the one that he had in the high red zone when he's moving to his right and he drops it in the bucket to Cooper Kupp. That's another special throw. So, I mean, I think that you saw some really high-level quarterbacking in that game. And you have to tip your cap to Kirk Cousins. I thought he did a good job in that game as well. He gave his team a chance, although end of half, end of game leaves something to be desired with Kirk Cousins. Wasn't sure why they weren't able to clock it at the end of that first half and get a shot into the end zone. But that's another story for another day. I think the headline for today has to be Jared Goff and what he was able to do, especially getting out to that kind of start.
You mentioned he had a perfect passer rating. We see those games a few times a year, a guy with a 158.3 rating. No one in NFL history has ever had a perfect passer rating throwing as many passes as Goff did last night. So like that, it was to have a perfect passer rating on that high volume of throws, 33 attempts. We've never seen it before. We've never seen a player in Rams history, and Kurt Warner played for them, have 5 touchdowns and 0 picks. And so, yes, he is elevating himself back to the place that people thought he was when he went #1 overall, when the Rams traded up to get the #1 overall pick in order to be able to draft him. With all that said, he has a perfect situation. We talked about Patty Mahomes in Kansas City and all the weapons. This is the NFC version of that. Andy Reid, meet Sean McVay. And the different things they're doing, before the show because everyone on Twitter is killing Anthony Barr, right? And I said to myself, this can't be Anthony Barr's fault. Like that there's no way the design is Anthony Barr guard Cooper Kupp, Anthony Barr guard Robert Woods. And on the Cooper Kupp touchdown, it was pre-play motion that got Anthony Barr crossed up on him, or the nickel corner crossed up, so Anthony Barr had no choice. And on the Robert Woods touchdown, it was pick your poison. Do you want to go to nickel and they can audible to a run and they can just run Todd Gurley right at you? Or do you want to leave your base defense out there and have Anthony Barr on your #3 wide receiver? Both of them resulted in touchdowns. That's schematics. That's pre-snap stuff to go along with Jared Goff being great at the snap.
Yeah, there shouldn't be one conversation potentially for the rest of his career, is Jared Goff a game manager? Now, does he take advantage of the talent? Does he take advantage of the play calling? Yes, but the reason why the talent is highlighted and the play calling the way it is because the coach believes in the quarterback. He made some outstanding throws. You're talking about no interceptions. There wasn't a chance for a Viking guy to get a hand on the ball, let alone be able to intercept one. So he made a number of throws that were very, very impressive. The way he took velocity off on Kupp's touchdown, scrambling to his right on the naked bootleg, Kupp over top of the 2 defenders, that was his 3rd read. His ability to be able to make the safety go to the right, Robert Woods up the slot seam, and his ability to be able to flight the ball, because you could hear him and Brandon Cooks. They were mic'd up on the sideline. He told him, I had to flight it a little lower. It's like a golf shot into the wind, because earlier in the season they ran the same route and he floated the ball and the ball was tapped away for incompletion. This one you could see that ball caught the receiver. He put that ball right on his shoulder pad against tight coverage. So we have to be able to give Goff a lot of credit, because no quarterback among all these good quarterbacks we've seen them grow from as bad as he was as a rookie to where he is presently.
So if you're giving that credit to Goff, did you not have any issues with what the Vikings defense presented last night?
Well, I thought that was more Sean McVay and the innovations that he has on the offensive side of the ball, doing things to challenge the eye discipline of those guys on the 2nd and 3rd levels of the defense, but also being able to scheme it formation-wise to get the matchups that you're looking for. You were talking about Anthony Barr and how they isolated him in coverage. Anthony Barr is one of those outside linebackers that he's probably better when he's hunting the quarterback than he is going after those receivers in coverage. So I think that Sean McVay did a very good job of being able to scheme it up that way. But then that's why you also have to credit the quarterback. We make a lot about the physical talents of players, but quarterbacking has more to do with the neck up and being able to understand the offense and having a grasp of it. And Sean McVay talked about Jared Goff taking ownership in the game plan during the course of the week, making sure that the concepts that are in there are concepts that he's comfortable with. And you saw that last night on display. So when you get your quarterback to graduate to that level, that's when you know you got something special. It's clear to me that the Los Angeles Rams have a special talent in Jared Goff.
I'll tell you you who was making it about the Vikings defense, Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer, who said after the game it was as poor a pass defense as he's ever been associated with. Yeah. This guy was a D coordinator for 15 years. Every year they've been in Minnesota, they've been excellent defensively. They have to clean that up. The Rams are a tough team to clean it up against. But on the Goff point, he is going to change the way any of us who do this for a living, who are quick to call someone a bust, how much time we give guys. Goff's rookie year, he was spectacularly bad. He was 0-7. In those 7 games, he threw 5 total touchdowns. 5 total. He completed half his passes at 5 yards per attempt. Since his rookie year, it's not only that they're 15-4, 39-9 touchdown interception ratio, a 106 rating, like elite numbers that flipped this quickly. Now, Gurley got better when McVay got there. The whole scheme got better when McVay got there. But Goff deserves a ton of credit for not having that rookie year break him.
Yeah, and spreading the credit around, because when you're playing well, that's what happens. Organization, they're doing the right thing. The head coach is outstanding, one of the great young coaches that we have. It's not sexy. That offensive line, though, has improved so much through the years. They got Whitworth at the left tackle to stabilize that offensive line. They got 2 guys. Their center is 33, and I think Whitworth's 35. So they got some seasoned guys on that offensive line that people don't talk about, but that allows them, because they like to get 5 out into the pattern. They like to get the back, tight end, 3 receivers, all out. So the responsibility is on that offensive line.
Center left. Roger Saffold was their pick in 2010. I mean, we're in 2018, so their center you mentioned is in the mid-30s, Saffold's in his early 30s, and Andrew Whitworth, who was a late bloomer as a pro, made an all-pro team his last year in Cincinnati, I believe. Them deciding last offseason, we're going to buy into Jared Goff, even though we're trading away Brandon Cooks. We're going to buy into Jared Goff, and we are going to stabilize his left side of the offensive line. That was one of the biggest offseason acquisitions last year. It's still paying dividends.
Chris, are the Rams now officially the best team in your opinion in the NFL?
Well, you are what your record says you are, and the Rams are 4-0. So they're the only team that's 4-0 right now. So, yeah, they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL. But I will say this. We're at the quarter mark of the season. The Rams haven't left the state of California. So coming up, they got Seattle, Denver, and San Francisco all on the road. 4 of their next 5 are on the road because there's a visit to the Saints as well in there. So, I mean, this is a situation where it was set up for the Rams to have early season success. They took care of that business. Now they got to take the show on the road. We'll see how this team responds.
They're not back home till week 8 against the Packers.
Well, according to Twitter, the Rams bandwagon is getting full, so hop on early. Chris, we'll see you a little bit later on in the show coming up. Hey, what is the key for Carson Wentz in his second start? Next on First Things First.
I have an explanation now. Man, you helped me out. That's what your excuse is. You're a late bloomer.
He's emerging.
I totally disagree with all of you.
You're a late bloomer. That's what I have to do. That's what
How do you win at business? Stay at La Quinta, where we're changing with contemporary makeovers. Then use the ultimate power handshake, the upper hander with a double palm grab. Who has the upper hand now? Start winning today. Book now at lq.com.
With all the top designer brands under one roof, our expert stylists have you covered from head to toe. Shop Men's Warehouse to replenish your fall essentials with buy one, get one free on select items. It's time to like the way you look.
Totally remixed. Introducing the all-new Volkswagen Jetta.
When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Smoothies. It starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
The only thing better than this bourbon are the friends you share it with. Jim Beam Black, the world's highest rated bourbon. Their words, not ours.
Howdy, folks. For under $20, you can fill up with KFC's 10-piece chicken feast and even have some leftover in case a guest drops by. A motorcycle at the table? I do not approve! It's 10-piece, and it's a feast.
With EDT Yard Signs stands watch over your home safety
years of tested, trusted, 24/7 protection. Now get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring at just $28.99 a month. About $1 a day. Call today.
Susan wanted to turn the garage into a yoga studio, but her husband thought a home office would be more practical. It can be tough to get her shoppers in line. Yeah, Susan's had to compromise a lot these days, but not when it comes to cutting the cord. Fubo gives her all the sports she wants, as well as all the shows her family loves. Don't compromise. Get over 100 channels plus Showtime and Cloud DVR included. Visit FuboTV.com.
Sunday, the NFL is on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
If you're a guy over 40, take it from me, Frank Thomas. Eugenics will help you feel like the man you used to be.
Right. Like that stuff actually works.
Hey, buddy, up here. The key ingredient in Eugenics is clinically researched to totally work. That's why Nugenics is the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Hey, buddy, check it out. My workout's a lot better. I'm feeling stronger and more energetic with a lot more drive. I'm back. There's a big hurt. You still don't believe me? Just to the sex. Get a complimentary box. Come on. You're stuck in park right now. That's right. Time to shift into drive again. And trust me, she'll like the difference too. Hey guys, it's time to start your engine.
To get your complimentary bottle of award-winning Eugenics, text SHINE to 321321. Samples are not available in stores, so text SHINE to 321321.
Rel. Brother Rel. Shout out for my man Rel.
Are you saying you missed the special preview of the new hit comedy Rel?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, you can catch it anytime on Fox Now and Hulu.
Oh.
And be there for the series premiere September 30th on Fox.
Welcome back on Sunday. It is a great slate of NFL action highlighted by Matthew Stafford and the Lions taking on Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys. Or Baker Mayfield and the Browns battling those Raiders. It is all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. You can check local listings for the game in your area.
You finally got a weekend you ain't traveling. You making the trek uptown C? Little 4-screen action? Come on.
No, bro. No
You ain't
football
coming?
this weekend, man. No. I mean, I'm all on football, but my wife and I, we got appointments with each other. Yeah, that's how that's going to happen.
Get to Carson Wentz in a second, but first.
Not middle school.
Junior high football. This is the Harlan Cyclones playing the Glenwood Rams. Nice effort to make the one-handed catch.
Did you say the Harlem Cyclones?
I said Harlan.
Oh, I thought that might be Marcus Garvey Park. Look at that.
Big Vikings fans there in Iowa now. That's our state. They don't have no team.
Oh, they're Chiefs fans.
Thursday night football.
Okay.
Welcome to the Jared Goff Show.
Maybe you have Northern Iowa. Southern Iowa's Chiefs fans, see?
Maybe this year's Chiefs, but y'all ain't won none.
Words.
Sorry, Jen.
Other words. Goff found Cook. Do your thing, Nick.
Xavier Rhodes got benched on this play because he kicked a flag. I'd have maybe let him stay out there. He got a little angry. He plays with passion. You know I don't mind that type of stuff.
You just don't give them 15 yards.
Well,
like they needed some help.
The punishment in them giving them a touchdown.
Well, if you wouldn't got the penalty, you would have tackled him on the 15.
Yeah, that's all true.
We can argue this all day, so let's do it. Okay, now, more from Jared Goff. Rolls out, drops, and look at that pass to Cooper Kupp. Nice touchdown.
Man, New England about to trade 2 first-round picks for him. Nobody even gonna laugh at the joke?
No, he's better. He's too good already. See, they take.
Wait, how do you think I feel every day now?
My joke, that was timely. It was a little risque.
And guess
there
what?
might have been a little racial politics there.
Nobody laughed.
Nobody laughed.
No, it wasn't funny. Moving on to, Dusty did. Paying him. Moving on to the Eagles and the Titans.
He's too busy thinking about the weekend.
Good news for Carson Wentz. He does not have to wonder how he will play in his first game back after injury. That was last week. And he played well enough to win. This week, his second start will come against the Titans, and he could get a much-needed spark if star receiver Alshon Jeffrey is able to suit up. With the Titans' defense giving up just 16.7 points per game, second best in the league, here's Carson on facing that tough Titans D.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They fly around. A lot of veterans over there, so you can tell they're pretty smart, instinctual, adjust really well. They mix it up, very multiple fronts, multiple coverages, do some different things. So we definitely got a challenge for us.
All right, CC, what do you want to see in this matchup?
Well, Carson Wentz makes some good points about the Titans' defense. I was able to see it studying several games And Mike Vrabel, first year there as a rookie head coach, never been a head coach before, is doing a good job. And they haven't been able to get good quarterback play. You got to watch
years now.
Yeah, you got to watch their secondary. I know Bill Belichick, smartest coach ever, but they got a cornerback named Malcolm Butler they gave a lot of money to, and he is playing good football for them. The people there, the general manager, John Robinson, former New England guy, very, very excited. They got several New England guys there. They do fly around to the ball. They get after the quarterback, very, very physical. So I believe Alshon Jeffries, this is the type of game. They play a lot of press and bump and run on the outside. Alshon Jeffries, those 50-50 balls, and be able to have a vertical threat for the Eagles. We haven't seen a consistent vertical threat since Nick Foles went on that 2-game run, NFC Championship against the Vikings and the Super Bowl against the Pats. So I look for Carson to make that next step. The game will slow down. Last week, very excited. Also, tough conditions, raining before the game and during the game. You get Jeffries back. I look for the Eagles to have their best offensive output in this game against the Titans.
I know we're talking about this game because of Carson Wentz and because of the Eagles. I'm just going to spend a moment on the Titans because they were a playoff team last year despite Mariota having an awful year. He went way backwards in year 3 from year 2. This year, they've had Blaine Gabbert start 2 games. Week 3, Mariota had to come in the game after Gabbert got hurt despite not being able to grip the football properly, and they've won 2 games in a row. Week 3, they had both their tackles out, right?
Yeah.
And they still found a way, albeit a defensive struggle, 9-6, to beat Jacksonville. We all focused on the giant upset Buffalo over Minnesota. They were 10-point dogs, and they beat Jacksonville. So the Titans' defense has been problematic for the majority of their opponents. That first game you were at was an odd game because of all the delays, but that Titans defense shut down Houston and it shut down Jacksonville. So the Eagles have their work cut out for them for an offense that statistically has struggled. But that's why I'm excited to see Carson Wentz. We saw it on that 17-play, 75-yard, I think 11-minute drive he had at the end of the game to beat the Indianapolis Colts, what he is able to do. And listen, he had a fumble in that game, he had an interception in that game. But now that some of that rust, if not all of that rust, is gone, and he has Alshon Jeffrey back, I expect to see a fully functional Eagles team for the first time since week 13 against the Rams last year. I know they won the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl. They didn't have their left tackle. They didn't have Wentz. That team won despite the fact it wasn't fully functional. Now it is somewhat of all systems go despite some running back injuries. I'm excited to see what this Eagles team looks like against an underrated defense.
But do we think we're going to see a little bit more of the Carson Wentz of old? Do we think it's a game under his belt, the speed back, all of the sort of getting that routine back?
One game helps, but also when you come back after an injury like that, Odell, he gave us a little insight.
Yes.
Told us, I thought I could have, but now after seeing the film, I know I had an extra gear to go to. These are injuries. Typically, it's going to take you a year and a half to be mentally. It takes you about 8 to 9 months to be over the injury, about a year and a half to mentally be over the physical and mental things that athletes go through. But he has a better supporting cast with him, so we should see better. And if you get better weather, like you can only do so much when it's raining. So, a fumble or being a little careless with the football, those types of things, it's hard for the head coach to be aggressive when you're battling the elements and you're battling some rust of not playing.
And this is the second straight week that the Eagles are going to have such an advantage with their defensive line and their pass defense versus the other team's pass offense that it's not like Carson's in a situation where the Falcons-Saints game where you're going to have to go match scores. The Eagles, according to our friends at Pro Football Focus, have the #1 pass rush in football. That shouldn't be surprising. I know the Titans are going to have their tackles back, but they're right now at a deficit at quarterback. Like, until Marcus Mariota, A, gets fully healthy, and B, shows me that year 2 was the real Marcus Mariota, not year 3, the Titans are going to have to win running and defensive football, which Vrabel, to his credit, has gotten them to 2-1 doing.
And Rashard Matthews, their wide receiver, they spent money on from Miami. He's been there for 2 years, been their leading receiver. He called the team on Monday, said he didn't want to play football anymore. What the organization do? They obliged him. They released him. So you got a little team turmoil going there. They didn't have a whole bunch of weapons offensively, so it's going to be I'd like to see what they're going to do.
At least he didn't do it during the game.
No.
That would be some kind of weird weird.
Man, he's a whiteout. We know, because if you quit at halftime, you might only get a half a check. I mean, we like to get paid.
Coming up, did the Vikings make a mistake signing Kirk Cousins in the offseason? That's next on First Things First.
Right, Mr. Tickles? Mr. Tickles said he works from home today. Yeah, absolutely. With the man that holds the jib, Jay. Jay likes to get it in on Twitter, Instagram. Hit him up.
No, don't go to that Twitter.
Yeah,
we don't know who that is.
Hit him in.
Major League Baseball on Fox. For some, Mookie Betts and the Red Sox take on Aaron Judge and the Yankees. For others, the Cardinals fight for their postseason ride against the Cubs. Saturday, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Barkeep, Bud Lights for everyone.
Actually, I prefer a nice mead.
Barkeep, Bud Lights for everyone and a mead.
Is it autumnal?
Bud Lights for everyone and one autumnal mead.
Is it malty and full-bodied? Because I like malt.
Cancel that mead.
Bud Light, for the many, not the few.
Oh, I can't stream music out here. Oh, Joy can. She's got the new iPhone on Verizon.
Yep, just got it.
Nice. Great. Problem solved. I have the acoustic version of this. I think it was a great idea.
Stop. Our old TV provider decided to stop providing our school games.
So I bought this bad boy. Road trips every Saturday.
And tetanus shots every Monday. But that Dish guy, the one who listened, he heard this thing coming. He said, switch to Dish. Game fighter. You get every major D1 football game right here at home.
You want to check out the inside? Carpet's original.
Stay home and get every major D1 game with Dish tuned into you.
When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Smoothies. It starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
You know, my car isn't that different than your car.
We both stop for routine maintenance to keep them performing at their best.
And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetic from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetic. Make the switch.
Fragrance. It's not all.
Want to save money on pet food and supplies? Shop online at Chewy.com.
When I shop at Chewy.com, I know I'm getting an amazing deal on my pet's food.
I save on my dog's food, their treats, their toys. At Chewy.com, you'll always find low prices on your favorite brands. Plus, you get fast, free 1 to 2 day shipping.
Prices are important to me because I have 4 dogs, and Chewy saves me money.
I just found my dog's food for less than what I buy it in the store. I love Chewy.com. Save 20% on your first order and get fast, free 1 to 2 day shipping. Start saving today at Chewy.com.
Some say gyros are true sandwiches, but have they studied the nuances for decades? Because I have. When I see all those Mediterranean flavors hugged by that warm bread, I say what the Greeks would say, Aftoime on a sandwich.
Arby's, we have the meat.
For sandwiches.
College football doubleheader on Fox starting in the Big Ten with number 14 Michigan taking on Northwestern, then number 11 Washington hosting 20th ranked BYU. It all kicks off tomorrow at 4 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. We are going viral here on First Things First. Cavaliers guard Jordan Clarkson looking to bounce back from an underwhelming postseason. However, it's something off the court that has the internet buzzing. Take a look at this. Clarkson last year compared to this year. Whoa! Had a lot of tattoo.
I don't know what Jenna was saying, but that's fine.
Twitter user John Wolf joked that This is what happens when you spend a year on the roster with JR.
Oh, don't put that on JR. No.
A lot of tattooers.
JR got his tattoos when he was young. Like,
See, that's why you just need just regular people in your life. I got a couple of my friends. I mean, they've been my friends since I was like 7, 8 years old. One's name's Dwight. The other one's name's Toogie. Man, see, if I come home or if I took a picture like that and send that to them, they would be on some type of transportation to be able to find me and beat the mess out of me. We told you was going to change. It took you a long time, but no, that right there, that's too much change. I mean, goodness gracious. Once you get one. Get one on your back. Get one on your bicep.
The neck is a big commitment.
I mean, I've seen him play basketball. He might have to get another job, like a real job.
The best point.
I mean, some of these other guys, they're not going to ever have to work. I can't assure you that.
Tattoos above the collarbone are a commitment to the game.
Next step.
Either pro athlete or a different game. You're going to have to make your money doing that. And, man, Jordan, I watched you in the playoffs, bro.
Throwing soup was the joke. Time now for some stories to start your morning.
What was that?
Because like J.R. Smith, he got the tattoos. Next stop was the
Jenna's big on. If she has a joke,
I'm going to get it out. Even at
just like those bands were the best bands, Jenna's going to be the best comedian.
No, I'm not. But yours gone so long. Number 4, Ohio State will travel to play number 9, Penn State on Saturday. The two highest scoring offenses. Both teams are undefeated. 3 of the last 4 meetings have been decided by 7 points or less. See, what do you want to see on Saturday?
This is Ohio State's biggest rivalry. This team right here gives them more problems than any team in the Big Ten. It used to be Wisconsin, but with the quarterback that we have in Haskins, we have not been able to throw the ball since we won our last national championship. So this should be a great game. A whiteout, Penn State, man. October, is it October yet? What's it on Saturday?
No.
Okay, no problem. But a late fall game in Penn State is always a treat.
Listen, Ohio State only a 3-point favorite. This is the toughest game that's on their schedule. This would be the toughest game they play until they get to the college football playoff. If they get there, man, I think not having Nicky Bosa in this game is critical. If Ohio State was fully functional, I would say I like them to win. I like them to win by at least a touchdown. I think this is closer to a coin flip game when the best player, I believe, in college football thus far this season is not going to be playing for Ohio State.
All right, moving on to the NFL now, one of the league's best rivalries.
Take the Buckeyes.
Ravens taking on the Steelers. Big implications for the AFC North as the Steelers' high-powered offense takes on that Ravens' stout defense. Nick, what are you looking for in this matchup Sunday night?
And I think for the Steelers to run away and hide, something they tried to do in their last game, and then they slowly but surely allowed Tampa back in the game in the second half. For the Steelers to put up big-time first-half points, I do not think the Ravens can match them, and then have the defense force Baltimore to have to pass and win that way, because I don't think that Joe Flacco and the Ravens offense can catch up the way Tampa Bay did.
Steelers defense, not very, very impressive. I look for Baltimore to add some wrinkles offensively. I look for Lamar Jackson to play his biggest role that he's played in the season in game number 4. When you go out and acquire him, you're thinking about the future, but you're also thinking about how can I get this kid involved in some divisional games that I might be able to steal a couple wins. Look for him to get involved Sunday in Pittsburgh.
Baltimore has a chance to go 3-1 if they can steal the win.
Moving on to the Green Bay Packers. They got some good news as Aaron Rodgers practiced in his first non-Saturday practice since his Week 1 knee injury. The Packers will host the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. Remember those Bills coming off that big win over the Vikings. But, Cece, what's the ceiling for the Packers if Rodgers does stay healthy?
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, it's the setbacks to his knee, okay? Because we were shocked that he was able to play in the Vikings game and be able to make it the whole game. But I think that Aaron potentially didn't tell us. He might have a little setback after that game. It's great to see him out there on the field on Thursday. Ultimately, you'd love to have him there on Wednesday, but I look for Green Bay to get back on track. I don't believe they'll be asleep like the Vikings were when they played Buffalo last week. Tough trip, though, for Buffalo. Going to Minnesota, going way back with the win. I think they did some drinking during the week and then have to come back to Green Bay.
I have not changed my opinion that Buffalo's the worst team in the NFL. It makes the Vikings loss all the more glaring. I think Green Bay wins this game and wins this game very comfortably.
All right, the Patriots are in unfamiliar territory as of late, trailing in their own division. Despite winning the AFC East 14 of the last 15 years, it's the Dolphins who are quietly making a run. 3-0 heading into Foxborough on Sunday. All right, Chris, what do you think the key to this matchup will be?
How do the Patriots deal with the Dolphins' speed? Like, if you haven't watched the Dolphins, paid attention, man, they got 4 or 5 guys that can flat out get it. And then they went out in the free agency and brought him back home, Frank Gore. So not only do they have the speed, but they believe once they get the lead, they have the hammer in Frank Gore. Over 14,000 yards rushing, top 5 in NFL history. One day will be a Hall of Famer.
Wow. I mean, you're right on that. I don't think people realize what his numbers are. Top 5 all-time rushing, and you calling him a future Hall of Famer. As far as the Pats go, it's this. They have not lost a divisional home game that Brady's played the whole thing of, the entire way, in over 10 years. If they lose this game, it means it is not same old Pats. Okay. It is not same old situation. If they lose this game, sound the alarm bells, and we can start talking about potentially the end of an era. That's why I don't think they're going to lose that game.
All right, we will end with last night's Vikings-Rams shootout. Kirk Cousins looked great, finishing with 422 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he did have a costly fumble late. He now has 5 turnovers in 4 games for a Vikings team that currently sits at 1-2-1. Here is Kirk Cousins after the game.
If you don't bounce back, if you don't have an answer, you won't be in the league very long. So as much as, we could say, hey, great job, stay in the course, on the road, playing well, that's the only option we have. That's our only choice. This league will chew you up and spit you out if you don't show up every week. So we felt like there was a huge sense of urgency, and I think we played that way.
It's odd asking a question like this, but the Vikings gave Kirk Cousins $84 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Have they gotten their money's worth so far?
Oh, they've gotten their money's worth. The thing about it, we wouldn't have minded if Kirk Cousins, if he had those same amount of turnovers, but if they were just all interceptions. All right? He's fumbled the ball before. He doesn't have overly large hands. They throw the ball more in Minnesota, so people who are Minnesota fans, you think with Mike Zimmer, the defense is going to be dominant. Their quarterbacking has been very, very conservative, going back to Teddy Bridgewater when he got them into the playoffs. After that, all the other quarterbacks, Sam Bradford and Case Keenum, all these quarterbacks, they weren't going to let them throw 35 times. They were going to manage the game, manage their throws, win by the defense and their special teams. Now, with Kurt, they gave him the money, but they also gave him free reign. The Vikings are far more aggressive. They throw the ball down the field more. They don't have a great offensive line. You're going to back Kirk Cousins up. Now, you're going to be able to live with some of that risk. For me, that's something as we go forward in the season that he's got to be able to change. All right, we know they're better offensively, but they're not better as a team because their defense hasn't played as good. They can't overcome these turnovers. The Vikings defense the last 5 years, they would have been able to overcome them, but right now, in 4 games, they have not been able to do that, and that's up to Kirk Cousins to be able to change. But, yes, he is worth the money. Battle down the stretch, tied the Packers there with Aaron Rodgers, throw for throw. When you watch them, man, if you have not watched Kirk Cousins a lot, you're like shocked. Like, wow, I didn't know that he could throw the ball that well. Yes, that's who he is as a quarterback. Thielen and Diggs on the outside, man, you could see why they went out and decided to invest that $84 million in Kirk.
Thielen with 4 straight 100-yard games now to open a season. Yeah. Cousins, in every game this year except Buffalo, he has made a few throws where you're like, wow. In week 1, it was the touchdown to Stephon Diggs. In week 2, it was the play, I forget who it was to, but it was down the near side of the field to get them back in that Packers game.
Yes.
And then in last night, there's a couple. There's one right there, and then there was one later to Aldrick Robinson where his tight end ran the wrong route.
Yep.
And he's right there.
Now Rudolph had drifted off into the third area.
I mean, he basically runs his man into coverage, and he still makes the throw. But the fumbles are a problem. Who leads the NFL among all players in fumbles over the last 3 years? That guy.
Wow.
And so that is, his interception numbers have never been a huge issue, but those fumbles have been. And I get what you might say, okay, well, a fumble, you got about a 50% chance of recovering it, sure, but not typically on a quarterback fumble. Fumbles in the general field of play, it's a 50-50 proposition, but a quarterback fumble is different.
The linemen are all looking down the field. They are not expecting a fumble, and when you talk about ball security, one thing people think interceptions, but when the coaches teach that, they're taking interceptions and fumbles. And Nick makes a great point. When a quarterback fumbles it, the likelihood of you getting it back, and that's also a sack. So your numbers are tallied up for your sack. Teams create momentum on you. They know that those things. So Kirk Cousins, especially those wide rushers, he's got to be able to step up in the pocket more consistently to be able to avoid those fumbles in the pocket.
I worry that the Vikings are going to look back for a few weeks now at that Buffalo game. The schedule makers did them no favors. At Green Bay, at the Rams, at Philly in the first 5 weeks. You can't, when that's your schedule opening 5 weeks, you can't give away a home game against Buffalo.
It looks like they did look at that schedule, and they looked at Buffalo and said, whew, okay, so we can take a breather this week because we got a bunch of tough weeks.
Yeah, don't forget about Jimmy G, week number 1.
Right.
You know, coming off the hype of last season, like it was going to be a brutal schedule.
Right.
For sure.
All right, moving on to the Carolina Panthers, who signed Pro Bowl safety Eric Reid to a 1-year deal. In 2016, Reid was the first player to kneel alongside then teammate Colin Kaepernick, and then this year couldn't get a job. In May, the NFLPA filed a grievance with the NFL on Reid's behalf, saying the league colluded to prevent his employment because of his protests. Panthers GM Marty Hurney said signing Reid was a football decision. Nick, what do you make of the news?
Thank goodness, because this was a black mark on an otherwise great league. This was an embarrassment. There was none of the nonsense reasons that Cap isn't in the league. We know why Cap isn't in the league. But at least people can say, oh, he's going to be too much media attention for a backup quarterback. Oh, we have a different system for a Cap system. Oh, he's been out of football too long at this point. None of them applied to Eric Reid. He was young, relatively inexpensive, has made a Pro Bowl, healthy, at a position a lot of teams need. And he was on the street for one reason only. He knelt alongside Cap. And I will give the new owner of the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper, credit, because I do not think the former owner, Jerry Richardson, would have even considered allowing this. And by the way, one other small note. So it turns out even if you do file a grievance a grievance for collusion against the league, it doesn't make you ineligible to be signed. So that's another thing on Cap. People say, well, the moment he filed that lawsuit, he gave up any chance to play pro football again. Wasn't the case for Eric Reid. I am incredibly happy for him and for the league because this was a bad look that this player was unemployed.
I know it was a football decision. Talking with their defensive coordinator, Eric Washington, and he talked about what I talk about all the time. NFL, they have these boards or they have these charts of players that are available. And they needed a safety this offseason. They spent money on a safety. And then they had some guys that they had drafted or guys there around that they wanted to see. So they actually had the people that they wanted to see. The guy they invested money in, he ends up getting hurt. The first guy on the board, when you start getting these checks, okay, he's gone. It was Eric Reid. It was really a football decision. I asked him that question. Is this about anything else? Is this about the new owner trying to make a splash? He's like, no. Is this trying to throw salt at Jerry Richardson? No, this is purely football. They didn't ask him one question about the national anthem. It really was about, we believe that you are a dual safety. We believe you can cover tight ends, you can cover running backs, he can play in the box. They have a veteran safety in Adams, his 15th year in the league. So between him and Eric Reid, they'll have one of the veteran-savvy safeties there where both of them can rotate. One play center field, the other play down in the box. They have enough video on him. They've played against him 3 times in the regular season, 1 time in the playoffs. They believe he's an outstanding player. They know people on the team who can vouch for his credibility on and off the field. He's a great family guy. He's a great community guy. The guy's never caused one type of rift in the NFL. And for me, the reason why I was upset was not because he kneeled besides Cap and got the same penalty as Cap is. In America, you can't deny a person the ability to make money and take care of his family. And people just sitting there acting like that's okay. Like we're going to just sit here and just watch this happen and we're going to be okay with it. This was a guy who's done everything the right way. Ever since he went to LSU, it's been about football. It's been about the right things. And even when he took the knee next to Cap, it was about the right things. I'm glad Carolina made it about football. and Eric Reed to be able to join this team who has taken a chance on some edge guys who might not necessarily fit in. And Eric Reed is not one of those guys. It's truly about football, and he's looking to make it a contribution. Nick, you and I met with Cap.
That's what I was going to say.
Last week. And he said, you know, man, I know you guys, you guys bring me up on the show, you guys talk about it, but don't forget about Eric Reed.
He brought up Eric Reed. Chris and I, we haven't really talked about this, and I don't want to divulge too much because it wouldn't be respectful to Colin Kaepernick, but we sat with him for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I meet with him about once a month.
And I want to say, brought up Eric Reed a half dozen times, multiple times, so many times that you took note of it. And his point was about this player, this person not being able to create wealth for his family, for potential future generations, that being deprived of him he didn't break any rules. You also got to keep in mind, it's not like at any point the NFL or the Niners, even if it would have been unfair, came to him and said, you keep doing this, you're gone. He was doing what he thought, even if people disagree with it, he was doing what he thought was right. And it didn't hurt nobody, didn't harm nobody. And for him to, I thought he was done. I thought he was going to be on the same list as Cap, where he was unsignable. And so, in addition to the fact that he's a good player and the Carolina Panthers got better, it also removes what is a dark cloud hanging over the league.
And one thing fans should understand, too, as far as this offseason, the safety market that Eric was in, it was not a great safety market. You know, there was not a lot of highly rated players. The salaries and everything were all depressed. So there was a different market for safeties this year in free agency than we've seen the last several years.
So if not, well, I don't know about UCC, but Nick, you said you didn't think you'd see Eric Reed play again, or at least not this year, and he did. Do either of you think this might crack the door open even a little bit for the possibility that Cap might not be the next guy?
Here's what I know. I know that he works out 5 days a week. I know that Chris, like he mentioned, he's met with him a few times. This is my first time meeting with him. The guy is enormous and in great shape, and clearly he wants to play football. And he's better than the quarterback that is going to be starting for his former team this week, C.J. Beathard. But we've known that for a long time. We've had Nathan Peterman. Tom Savage is getting more tryouts. And the fact that Cap is not, no. I think that door, unfortunately and sadly and unjustly, is closed. I think Cap represents too much to too many people in order for the league, for him to get a shot in the league again. But Eric Reed justifiably is getting another chance.
Yeah. Michael Kendricks facing a couple different felonies,
pled guilty to him.
Signed with Seattle. Seattle said, we'll work it out wherever the NFL decides later on. So to me, this is what I'm going to do. Cap wants to play football, and this is a league that I know has been better than what they are now. I'm just believing one day they're going to come to their senses. Cap should be playing. Anytime you're the San Francisco 49ers, your quarterback is gone, and you know that you are not making the best decision for your football fans and the football team. And they know it. They can lie, and their nose is growing just like it is, like the nose on my face. Cap should be playing in the NFL, just like Eric Reed should be playing. And the question to him shouldn't be, are you going to kneel on the national anthem? The question be, man, how can we utilize your skill to be able to help the team be the best team for the 2018 season?
All right, we got to take a break. Much more First Things First right after this.
Check it out.
There's a variety of packages, so we can take care of any additions you want to do up here.
This could be a song about home insurance.
All right, I'll try. Save up to 20% by bundling your home and auto insurance.
Bundling home and auto. 2 songs in one. What do you call that, a crossover?
No, it's more of a mashup.
Yeah, mashup. You see, that's why we're a great band.
We're not a band.
Yes, we are. We are a band. I am in a band.
And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetics from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
Once upon a time, here it's erupted with agave. And a hero named Jose Cuervo started making history. At the Battle of Puebla, Cuervo was there to load the shot. When Prohibition left us dry, Cuervo crossed the border to quench our thirst. Then Cuervo met the beauty Margarita, and the world's most famous cocktail was born. And it was Cuervo who turned beach volleyball into a party. For over 220 years, Jose Cuervo has made history, and 100% agave Cuervo Tradicional.
College football doubleheader on Fox. First, Jay Patterson leads the Wolverines as they set their sights on the Wildcats. Then the Cougars tangle with Jake Browning and the Huskies. College football, Michigan, Northwestern, BYU, Washington. It all starts tomorrow at 4 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Howdy, folks. Is now a good time to talk about KFC's new hot honey chicken? We take my extra crispy chicken and glaze it in my golden hot honey sauce for a crispy sweet heat that sneaks up on you. Try KFC's new hot honey tenders basket.
The all-new Lexus ES is stolen. Hijacked from dreams. Pulled from decades of obsession. Taken from the souls of artists. We confess we stole everything we could from everything we've ever mastered and put it here. The all-new Lexus ES. Every curve, every innovation, every feeling, a product of mastery.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Dave & Buster's introduces the Jurassic World VR Expedition game. Play the all-new VR game and experience the exhilarating action of Jurassic World like never before. And play 5 other games for free, only at Dave & Buster's.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get 20% off with promo code TRIPLE. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
When the day turns to night and the shadows grow long, let ADT Yard Signs stand as watch over your home and family. With 140 years of tested, trusted, 24/7 protection. Now get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring at just $28.99 a month. About $1 a day for ADT, America's most trusted home security provider. Call or go to ADT.com and drive risk-free with our 6-month money-back guarantee.
First things first, sponsored by DraftKings. Play free this Sunday for your share of over $1 million. DraftKings. Back here with Chris K. Big week for Baker Mayfield. Chris, the #1 overall pick, will make his first career start Sunday against the Raiders. The Browns right now are riding high.
How high are they, Jenna?
1-game win streak. Solamento uno. With Baker getting all first-team reps and an extended week.
No, Solamente. I'm
sorry.
Stick to your British accent. You're better in English.
Wow. And French. Hopes. God. Hopes are high for the rookie.
He's
but he's not.
I'm here for you.
What are the keys for Baker in his first career start against the Raiders? Let's talk Baker Mayfield. All right, Chris.
Let's talk Baker Mayfield. Let's get to it.
Let's just 2 words. Go start speaking.
Here's what it is, Jim.
Talk to me.
Just don't make any mistakes. And I know that you can't.
That's a tall order.
No, listen, he's a rookie quarterback. I don't want Baker Mayfield going out there trying to do too much in his first start on the road. So you had a long week, a long time to prepare for this game. Just don't make any mistakes. Because the other quarterback, he's going to give your defense plenty of opportunities to make plays on the ball and steal possessions. Derek Carr is tied for the most interceptions in the NFL. Now, keep in mind, in their 3 losses this season, they had a lead at point in the second half. So, Derek Carr hasn't played well this year. He's got all those turnovers. You look at what he's done. He's got 3 of those interceptions in the fourth quarter of the 5 that he's thrown this season, and they've been outscored 37-3 in the fourth quarter. So if you're Baker Mayfield, just don't make those mistakes. Be good in sudden change. Now, he got away with one in that Jets game. There was a sudden change after the Robbie Anderson fumble, and then Baker Mayfield threw one in the end zone. Doug Middleton should have caught it from the Jets, but he dropped that interception. Baker Mayfield's just got to take care of the football on the the road. That's the biggest thing that I want him to do in this start.
And when you mention the Raiders and Derek Carr, this year's propensity for turning the ball over should be noted. No team's forcing more turnovers than Cleveland. Now, you might say, oh, well, they got 6 in the first game. Fine. They got 5 in the 2 games since then.
Yep.
They have forced 11 turnovers this year. So even if the Pittsburgh game's an outlier game, they have repeatedly forced turnovers of their opponent. We saw it last week against the Jets. We saw it in their Week 2 game against New Orleans. Like, this is a team that is, I believe, very good defensively because they can make game-changing plays, turnovers and sacks. Now, they're 30th in the NFL offensively. So that's why they make the change at quarterback. That's why number 6 is getting to start. I think the Browns are better than the Raiders, flatly. I can't right now say Baker's already better than Derek Carr, but I don't think he has to be in order for them to be able to go on the road and win this game.
Yeah, I think after 4 games, too, John Gruden is going to really been like, man, you know something? I've been doing television. Football looked a lot easier when I was up there. Like, it looks a lot easier. I believe this could be a monumental game for the Raiders. To be able to lose at home to a rookie quarterback, I believe it would hurt them as far as emotionally. John Gruden, when we started the season, Nick, you pointed this out to me. I was like, no, there's no way. They got the oldest roster in the NFL. Like, I mean, you lose 4 games with a bunch of old guys. Now, it's different. You got a bunch of young guys. Hey, we happy? We're just – you lose with a bunch of old guys. I know what old guys do. Oh, it's his fault. It ain't me. It's her fault. And that's what you're going to start to see. We've seen that with Gruden. Yeah. He's already pointed the fingers a couple times. Now, as veteran players, you start thinking about, man, my career. People are looking at me, my own personal brand. So it can become an issue. Baker Mayfield, I'm not worried like you about the interceptions. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put that on a guy that was not him. Kirk Cousins in Washington, what'd he do? Fumble the football. When Minnesota, what's he doing? Fumble the football. Baker Mayfield, what'd he do? Efficient as a quarterback, dinking the ball off and also driving the football down the field because he's such a smart quarterback. I think a lot of coaches, and all the coaches that I always had with me, I used to tell them, don't coach that way. Because when you coach timid, you coach scared, it goes right into the quarterback, and then those young kids who used to have confidence, they start playing like the coach coached them in coaching scared. I don't believe Todd Haley, when Baker came into the game, he coached aggressive. And I believe that they're going to go after this Raider because they don't have to worry about that edge pressure that normal young kids are going to have. But let's coach aggressive. The kid came into the league. He took care of the football. Let's trust him to be able to take care of it in the NFL.
I agree with you. I think the less conservative approach, we saw that, and you brought it up a lot, what Todd Haley was doing with Tyrod Taylor, where she wasn't opening it up for him at all. As you saw, as soon as Baker went in, that game changed a lot more downfield. And I think it's something I will not forget. Andy Reid said about Patrick Mahomes early on in the preseason when he said, this guy's so talented. I'm okay with a couple of mistakes. I want to see what his potential is. Like, let me open him up, see what his arm can do, because if you start restricting him and just giving him a little bit, he might not develop as quickly, and I'm just wondering if that's something that you think Baker might fall into as well.
Well, I don't want you guys to confuse what I'm saying. I'm not saying restrict Baker Mayfield. I think that you have more of the playbook open if you have Baker Mayfield as your quarterback as opposed to Tyrod Taylor. My thing is, I just want Baker to take what the defense gives him, because that Raiders defense is going to give you plenty of opportunities. And on the other side of that coin, I think Derek Carr has struggled this year just because he understands that offense has to win the day with that Raiders team because they're not very talented defensively.
I think I misinterpret that. So also, too, what you're saying is, man, you're the face of the franchise. You got the whole season.
You're the highest paid player on this team.
You're going to be playing next week. Okay, because when you come in and you're subbing, there's a certain amount of adrenaline and looking at the scoreboard, oh, man, we're down. Yeah. So we have to go right now. What Canty is saying is take what the defense gives you. You're playing the whole game. Get involved in the chess match of the game. Okay, I can accept that right there.
You know, your defense is going to give you short fields. They're going to create field position. They're going to create extra possessions. So you'll have more opportunities. You don't have to force a ball into coverage when Derek Carr's probably looking at it and saying, I've got to take that chance just because I know my team's not going to have a chance to win unless I can make that play.
And amazingly, and I'm saying this about the Browns, if it's close late, you have to love their chances because it's not – the Raiders this year have scored 3 fourth-quarter points. That's last in the league. And they've allowed, as you were saying, 37 fourth-quarter points. That's last in the league.
Ooh.
So they are scoring it's 37-3. That's last on both ends of the spectrum. So they've got to feel like, if you're Cleveland, if we're tied going into the fourth, the game is ours. Meanwhile, Oakland, to your point, has had leads going into the fourth quarter, and they've lost every time anyway.
Meanwhile, somewhere out there, Gruden's still going, if we could only get a pass rusher, everything would be better.
He's just saying that so y'all know it ain't his fault.
Yeah,
that's what that is. That's what that is.
Stick around, Chris.
Okay.
Coming up, can the Cowboys offense finally start clicking on Sunday? Next, first things first.
CC took away Nick's picks, but the lock of the week would have been Cleveland +3. Jump on it, America.
Reggie and Mark, that ain't on me. I didn't want to trade Khalil Mack.
Okay.
Some things should never change, like the crisp, cold refreshment of Busch. But some things should, like Frank's Camp Sauce. Belly buttons are funny. Are you an innie or an outie? What do you got? Innie. Tell me what you got. Outie. Tell me what you got. Innie. We've got 3 innies and only 1 outie. What are the chances? Yeah, wow.
My car is a lot like your car. We both deal with the wear and tear of stop-and-go driving. And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetics from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
1 piece of KFC all-white meat chicken. 2 pieces of KFC all-white meat chicken. Holy smokes! This is the most white meat ever assembled in a $5 fill-up. Get this deal before it flies the coop. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Buy it once, and buy it well. The men who know things know this. They avoid the temporary. Worthwhile and well-made are the qualities that attract them. Because they know that a sea of mediocre will never yield an ounce of great. You only need a few very excellent things, they tell themselves. And so they seek out the craftsmanship of true American artisans. These men stand out. Their style tells the world they know what matters. Their style tells the world they know what's real. We understand these men. We make their shoes. Allen Edmonds. Real shoes. Save 15% off your first pair at any Allen Edmonds store or go online at allenedmonds.com.
The demands are greater. The expectations higher. The jobs tougher. The world moves faster. So we made your truck even more capable. With legendary Hemi and proven Cummins power. No wonder more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
During Ram Power Days, get an average $8,659 in total values on the 2018 Ram 3500 with a Cummins diesel engine.
I have never lost a debate on Undisputed.
Come on, Skip.
Look, isn't that Frank Thomas?
The big hurt.
More like the big hunk. Wow, Frank Thomas.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. You look like you could still be playing. That's what I said.
Well, I am feeling stronger and leaner. So, Frank, what's your secret? I discovered Nugenics.
I wish my husband did.
It's easy. Just send a text.
If you're a guy over 40, text 42424 and enter the word WORK to get a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenics is a unique man-boosting formula powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help boost your free testosterone levels, to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more energy and drive, more passion, too.
Here, try a bottle. And trust me, she'll like it too.
Text 42424, enter WORK, get a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores, so text 42424 and enter WORK.
Fox Sports 1 is your destination for the day's best sports shows. Tune in for the biggest personalities on the biggest stories. Of course, we get you started right here with First Things First. You can catch it all right here, Monday through Friday on FS1. Back here with Chris Canty. Hey, pardon the broken record here, but the Cowboys' offense is bad. Dak Prescott is 31st in the league in passing yards per game. Ezekiel Elliott has been underutilized, and it won't get easier Sunday against the Lions' #1 pass defense. But Cowboys offensive coordinator Scott Linehan says Dallas is ready to sling it around. All right, Chris Carter, start with you on this. What do you make of Scott Linehan saying he wants the Cowboys to sling it around on Sunday?
I thought he really meant like some Texas stuff, like they're going to stop slinging bull or something, like against the wall or something like. I mean, I don't know what they what they slinging out there in Dallas.
Lasso something? Because that's the opposite of what the strategy should be this week.
Oh, any week.
Thank you.
I mean, unless they play the Saints in week number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, bye week, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. They should. There's an interpretation of words or something. But no, this is direct opposite of what they should have been doing. No, man, man, anytime the coaches or owners say anything in Dallas, I get upset because 99% of all the players need a system. Zeke don't need a system, but he needs people with common sense. Tyron Smith, the left tackle, he don't need a system. And he's an elite, a rare talent. The rest of those guys need a system. Those wide receivers, I mean, if they need a system, I mean, they really do. Like, you can't go into the game saying we're going to sling. You go into a game and say, what are my best chances to win the game? And you break it down. We're going to have 65 plays. What's my best chance to move the football, score the football? And it's giving the ball to 21. And after 25 times, Nick has taught me this. Dak Prescott, man, his game goes the other way. 0 to 25, he's good.
10-0 if he throws 25 or fewer passes in his career. If you throw out the Week 17 game a couple years ago where he didn't play a full game, they're 10-0. And in the other games, I think it's 11 and 13 if he's at 25 plus.
So if that's slinging it, Scott Linehan, Scott, I know you. You done called some good plays around this at several places. Detroit, Minnesota. You built up a reputation. Now you in Dallas lying. You can't sling the ball, man. They weren't even slinging the ball when they had Witten and Dez. Now, if he had those teams and he came out and said, you know something, in this game, this week we got to sling the ball, I'd be like, okay, maybe this week. But those guys, okay, I might be, man, stop. Then stop playing. Stop tripping. Let's tell the truth. Yeah. You're a running, grinding out team, and your quarterback is best when he's managing the game.
Absolutely right, CC. And the Lions have the best pass defense in the NFL, and that's only because the opposing teams realize you can run the football against the Detroit Lions. Glover Quinn said it himself. We got the worst run defense in the NFL. And what do you happen to be able to do very well if you're the Dallas Cowboys?
Run the ball.
You can run the football. Use that stretch zone running scheme. That's exactly what the Detroit Lions defensive front struggles with. This is a no-brainer to me. If you look at Dak Prescott's last 11 games, he's only got 2 of them where he's over 200 yards passing. He's got 8 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. He's not what you need to be focused on when trying to game plan. It needs to run through Ezekiel Elliott. He came into this weekend leading the NFL in rushing, but he's only 7th in attempts. Now, how does that make sense to me? It doesn't.
Please, teach us. Say something that makes some sense.
Well, I'm going to actually say something that doesn't make any sense, because here's a quote from Cole Beasley that was in the paper this morning, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, that I didn't see until 15 minutes ago, but part of our great staff brought it out to me, about the receivers. Quote, "We're just getting open. That's all we can do. If you watch the tape, that's all you've got to do. A lot of people aren't watching the tape. They're just assuming that's fine, it's been working. You feel it. We're moving the ball. I don't know if it's that they're changing their defense or what, but it's working." Okay. That can only be interpreted as one thing, which is, hey, where's Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
Oh, he just got the Dallas truck backed up over. We're getting open. That's all we can do. The we there is Cole Beasley and those other receivers. Now, I don't know if Cole's correct, by the way. Maybe he is. I maybe haven't studied the tape the way he has. But whether he's right or not, that is an indictment of the quarterback. That is an indictment of, and by the way, all of this is alleviated by if they're throwing the ball less and running Zeke. I mean, the numbers are outrageous. They have the 4th fewest attempts on first down running the ball, but they're averaging 7 yards per run when they do it. Like
the goal is still 10 yards per first down, right?
Yes.
Okay. They move them. They move the chains after that.
No sense.
What's the thing you say when you just try the logical answer to the question before you move on to B, C, and D?
You keep failing a test without ever trying the easiest solution. Like, I don't understand. See if that one works. and keep going to it until it stops working, or else what you're going to have is Scott Linehan saying sling the ball around, and Cole Beasley saying we're getting wide open, ball's just not finding us. Like, all of that is bad for Dallas when Zeke somehow is leading the league in rushing.
Yeah. I also got to remind you, too, because Scott Linehan, that was a gem. But let's go back a couple weeks. Jerry Jones said that his quarterback was a combination between Russell Wilson. No,
Jared Goff, and Cam Newton.
Okay, we know Cam's big, all right? Now, unless Dak's going to hit some type of amazing growth spurt, we know he's not going to be the body or the runner that Cam is. Did y'all see Jared Goff last night? Was my TV broke?
Yeah. Perfect passer rating, 5 touchdowns.
Give me a number of carries you want to see from Zeke.
Greater than 16, because that's what they've been doing. More than 16. That. I think that's the equation.
So when we talk about this again Monday, we want to see a number more than 16. How many times they're asking him to run the ball?
He needs to have 20 to 25 rush attempts. Now, I'm not just talking about touches. I'm talking about just hand it off to Ezekiel Elliott and go. And then that's going to open up opportunities in the passing game. And I'm not saying you can't utilize him as a receiver, throw him some swing passes, use that as an extension of the run game. But Dak Prescott has already proven that he hasn't evolved as a passer where you can lean on him to win you the football game. When he's got 25, 30 attempts, that's not the formula for the Dallas Cowboys to have success. It's Ezekiel Elliott rushing the ball 20 to 25 times a game. And then maybe that opens up opportunities to take shots down the field like they did early in that Giants game to Tavon Austin. Those are the big plays that you're looking for, but you're not going to consistently get those opportunities unless you give Zeke the attempts.
That's when you can sling it. Thanks for joining us today, Chris Kenny.
I gave her too many compliments.
Too many compliments. I got excited. Hey, will Baker Mayfield start his Rookie of the Year campaign Sunday next on First Things First?
When Chris is talking about the Cowboys, he gets a Texas drawl.
Yeah, a little bit.
When you're talking about Dallas, you start talking like you're from Dallas. It's unbelievable.
Started in Dallas.
Unless you're...
We're more than just $7.99 large 2-topping pizza delivered.
Hey, B, is this it?
We're an end zone dance at your doorstep. No one outpizzas the Hut. When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Smoothies. It starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Hops are like grapes, special conditions of terroir, of soil, the growing conditions of climate and sunlight will produce unique flavors. A lager beer should be fruity, floral, and the flavors that we want in Boston Lager can only come from hops grown in this little piece of ground.
Hey, Peyton.
Hey, Brad. It's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I know, Peyton. I can see you.
Is that a tour bus? You know it. We're going on the road, man. We're going to get some inspiration. Your next nationwide song is not going to write itself.
Are you outside?
Of course I am. Already got some ideas, too. We got to get the band back together.
We weren't a band, Peyton.
I'm pretty sure we were. Okay, great talk. Band is back together.
ADT to say good night, folks.
Designed and installed just for you.
The all-new Lexus ES is stolen. We confess we stole everything we could from everything we've ever mastered and put it here. The all-new Lexus ES, a product of mastery.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
With all the top designer brands under one roof, our expert stylists have you covered from head to toe. Shop Men's Warehouse to replenish your fall essentials with buy one, get one free on select items. It's time to like the way you look.
The Longhorns charge into Manhattan to face off with the Wildcats. Texas, K-State tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern on FS1.
Attention, do you have Medicare?
Do you want to make sure you have the most benefits and lowest possible out-of-pocket costs? You may be able to lower your out-of-pocket costs and get dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage included in your plan. Call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now to find out what you deserve.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Buchwald. Over 3 million people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline, but there are still many people who don't check to see if they're eligible for more benefits and lower out-of-pocket costs. It's so easy. One simple free call could save you money and get you more benefits. Be smart. Call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Call now to see if you may be eligible to lower your copays and get extra benefits, including dental and prescription coverage. Don't delay. Call to see if you're able to save money and get more benefits now. Call 1-800-993-3289 now. Again, call 1-800-993-3289 now.
Sunday, it's a great slate of NFL action, highlighted by Matthew Stafford and the Lions taking on Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys, or Baker Mayfield and the Browns battling the Raiders. It is all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area. We will get to Odell Beckham in a bit, but first, junior high football. The Harlan Cyclones playing the Glenwood Rams. Nice one-handed catch right there.
Some big 7th and 8th graders, man.
Oh, that's in Iowa now. If you go into the interior, linebacker, offensive and defensive lineman, good place to recruit, especially middle school.
Thursday night football. Welcome to the Jared Goff show. This one, he finds a flying Brandon Cooks down the middle of the field for the touchdown.
A handful of impressive throws, none more impressive than this. Also, Brandon Cooks is so fast. Those guys are hard to measure up. You don't have a lot of body to be able to see, and that speed. Missed him earlier in the season, timed him up nicely.
And that's the pass he struggled on last year with Sammy Watkins. The deep ball last year was the one place Goff struggled and timed it up this year.
More from Goff to Cooper Kupp. Look at that pass. Look at the catch.
I told you a handful. The bomb to Cook, this one dropping it on Kupp. The other one where Cooper Kupp, where he puts some arc on it for his second touchdown. Woody in the slot where he moved the safety. Man, Jared Goff is for real. Very impressed with those 5 touchdowns last night.
Nice little Patty Mahomes impersonation. Rolling out, throwing off one leg. Good
Nick,
job.
you want to play a football edition of Take Your Pick?
I would love to. Thank you for asking, Jenna.
On Sunday, I learned my lesson yesterday. The Saints and Giants face off, and a lot of attention will be on a star wide receiver, Michael Thomas, and Odell Beckham Jr. Which receiver will have a bigger game Sunday, Thomas or Odell? CC, take your pick.
I got to go with Michael Thomas. And the Giants defense better than the Saints defense. But right now, NFL record after 3 games, 38 catches. NFL record after 2 games, 28 catches. The young guy said he's going for the number 1 spot. With the guy on the other side, a lot of people have him in that number 1 spot. I'm going with Michael Thomas.
I'm going to go with OBJ because of the defensive matchup. Nothing against Michael Thomas having an amazing year. But this is a game where the Giants can break their 2.5-year streak without getting to 30 points, and where Odell Beckham can break his games without a touchdown streak, which is longer than he's used to going into the 4th game of the season. So I say Odell Beckham has the bigger game.
All right, moving on to a matchup of 2 marquee quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck. Both QBs have not performed up to the usual standards, and their teams are a combined 1-5 thus far on the season. So which quarterback will have a bigger game Sunday, Luck or Watson? Nick, take your pick.
Might surprise some people. I'm going to say Andrew Luck, and this is despite the fact that Deshaun Watson's one of my clients, but it's because of the Texans have just been a mess. A total, unabated mess. And I don't see it getting better. I think Luck, after coming off a disappointing game where I thought he took a step backwards in his recovery from the injury, I think Andrew Luck has a big game, takes advantage of a bad Texans team.
Well, that's a good note because the Bar Association takes note of that note because they've been wanting to investigate your business, wondering how you hire your clients and everything. Believe you could be discriminatory. Yeah, I do believe that.
I heard about that.
I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson. I believe J.J. Watt keeps the momentum going after 3 sacks last week against this offensive line that, yes, it's improved, but they still struggle in pass protection. Deshaun Watson has a better game.
All right, number 1 overall pick Baker Mayfield and number 10 overall pick Josh Rosen will both start for the first time in their careers on Sunday. Baker will be in Oakland to face the Raiders, while Rosen will be home against Seattle. Which rookie quarterback will have a better day on Sunday, Baker or Rosen? Steve, take your pick.
Arizona Cardinals fans, I hope you watched last night's game. Now, I don't know what year it is in his career, but when Josh Rosen looks like Jared Goff, same body type, same style throwers, you see the type of weapons you need to put around them. I don't believe he has the best debut, though. I'm going with Baker Mayfield. I'm just trying to give Arizona fans just a sense of optimism.
Right, and
and that's why Nick loves it.
And what maybe the best case scenario for Josh Rosen is. Because, and in this NFL, where how durable you are at that position is becoming less and less important, Josh Rosen has a better and better chance of succeeding. But I'm also going to go with Baker. This is a lot about the matchups. Seattle might not still have the Legion of Boom, but they have a better defense than Oakland does. We know Oakland has no pass rush, so Baker's going to have plenty of time. I like Baker's chance to have a better first start than Josh Rosen.
And Oakland does not realize that you can make adjustments in the second half.
Correct, absolutely. Or they do make adjustments, they're just all the wrong ones.
Yeah. We can't forget about the Buckeyes. They will be in Happy Valley to face Penn State in the Big Ten showdown of top 10 teams. This is a matchup of the two highest-scoring offenses in college football. Who's going to win Saturday, Ohio State or Penn State? CC, take your pick.
Going to Happy Valley, man, the Buckeyes got to score some points. Now, they have two running backs, both of them the last 2 years. One of them had rushed for 1,000 yards last year. The other one was hurt. He rushed for 1,000 yards as a true freshman. They got 5 wide receivers. I look for them to be able to throw the ball. You will see in this game, Penn State is the toughest matchup for Ohio State in the Big Ten. I believe the Buckeyes get it done because their wide receivers and their speed, they take advantage of the speed advantage with the skilled guys.
I'm also going to go with Ohio State with this caveat. I believe this is the smallest favorite they will be all year. They're only a 3-point favorite. They'll be a bigger favorite than that the rest of the way. They are without not only their best player, but a guy who has been, I believe, through a few weeks, the best player in college football this year in Joey Bosa. Not just the best defensive player, but if Ohio State wins this weekend in Happy Valley, I believe they are going to the college football playoff. I think this is the biggest hurdle on their schedule. I think this is tougher than the Big Ten championship game would be. That's how big this game is. It's why you wish you were at full strength with Nicky Bosa, but you're not. But I think they win. It's a tough game against James Franklin's team, and that is a great quarterback at the collegiate level they have at Penn State and Trace McSorley, but I like Ohio State to win a close game.
When you look through Ohio State, they go through periods where they struggle with certain teams in the Big Ten. Right now, their struggle has been Penn State. They've beaten them a couple times in the last 3 years. Wisconsin used to be that team. Michigan used to be that team before they had another coach. Until they get another coach, they won't be struggling with them too much. But I like the Buckeyes Saturday night. Whiteout in Happy Valley.
31-28, Ohio State.
Coming up, Panthers 3-time Pro Bowl tight end Greg Olsen joins the show. That's next. This is First Things First.
G-Reg. I didn't talk to him.
He just made his nickname longer.
No, that's an old from the University of Miami days thing. We can talk to him about it.
You know, I like to keep it saucy. That's why I love McDonald's new glazed tenders. They're sweet, like me.
Oh, thanks, Grandma.
Ooh. Ow. They're spicy, too, like me. Who invited you?
I'm your grandson.
Not in that jersey.
Introducing McDonald's Sweet and Spicy Honey Barbecue Glazed Tenders. Made with all white meat chicken, hand-tossed and glazed to order. They're the perfect combination of sweet and spicy, just like Grandma.
The all-new Lexus ES is stolen. We confess we stole everything we could from everything we've ever mastered and put it here. The all-new Lexus ES, a product of mastery.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Dave & Buster's introduces the Jurassic World VR Expedition game. Play the all-new VR game and experience the exhilarating action of Jurassic World like never before. And play 5 other games for free. Only at Dave & Buster's.
Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and 4% on entertainment. Now when you go out, you cash in what's in your wallet.
For your Tyler
telling me that I can surf the web on this refrigerator while I'm cooking.
The Samsung Family Hub. And with the Ring doorbell, it shows you who's at the front door. Add Total Tech Support, and we'll make sure it always works for you.
Who is the genius who dreamed up a refrigerator that shows you how to cook a souffle?
What else does it do? Does it tell me when we're out of milk?
Actually, it tells your phone.
No way.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I need one of these.
Yes, you do.
Today's Best Western rewards you in a flash. Get a free night pass with points that never expire at over 4,200 hotels worldwide. And get double rewards points on every stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Janet has to work late. Luckily, she also has a Rover walker for her dog.
I'm gonna be your hero.
Great day, huh, bud?
Yeah.
The dog people are ready. Book a walker today on Rover.com.
Horsepower isn't just for NASCAR. It's for your car. It's for off-road and the on-ramp. You need it when you're drifting. You want it when you're passing. K&N Performance Air Intake Systems. For more airflow in, more horsepower out. Guaranteed. Shop now at knfilters.com.
No matter what size your label says, Men's Warehouse has you covered. It's time to take your style to the next level and create the perfect fit. It's time to like the way you look.
First things first, and we are talking to Carolina Panthers, who are currently on their bye week, coming off a 31-21 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. So the 2-1 Panthers now sit tied atop a very jam-packed division in the NFC South. And we are joined by a prominent member of that team, Panthers three-time Pro Bowl tight end Greg Olsen, live from Carolina. First of all, Greg, thanks so much for getting up and being with us this morning.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
So, Greg, now your team sits. They get their second win of the season somehow, some way, without your services. You've been recovering from that broken foot. First of all, tell us how that recovery is coming along.
You know, it's coming along well. It's obviously been frustrating now for the second year in a row to have the same injury kind of creep back up after you think it's long in your past. You know, I went all off-season, OTAs, and minicamp, training camp, and had no issues. And you get to the first quarter of the first game, and you know, you just step funny, you make a bad cut, and you kind of have a setback. So it's something we think we can work through. It's something that, you know, is maybe a matter of more of weeks than it is months, we're hoping. And, you know, just trying to do everything I can to get back out there. For the second year in a row, this is kind of uncharted waters for me.
I was watching the game when it happened. I saw the frustration on your face. I don't want to call it heartbreak, but it seemed like there was a you got to be kidding me moment for you after dealing with it last year. How is the rehab process different this year, and how long did it take for you to mentally kind of get over this again before jumping into it?
Yeah, it was funny. It was the last play of the first quarter, and I kind of felt something when I ran a route, and I was coming back to the huddle. We broke for the quarter, and we walked down the other side, and I was walking. I said to one of the guys, I said, man, I might have just re-broke my foot. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't know. I tried to kind of run in place, and I knew, sure enough. And, you know, fortunately, last year I had the surgery, so I have the screw already in that bone. So there is some healing already and some stability to the inside of that bone that refractured. So not having to have the surgery again, you know, definitely puts me ahead of my timeline from last year. How far ahead is still something we're kind of working through. There's not a whole lot of examples of kind of foregoing the surgery route. So we're confident. Our foot doctor and our training staff is very confident we're going to be able to get through it. It's just a matter of when I'll be ready, and once I get out there, trying to stay on the field and play the rest of the season. So there's never a dull moment in the NFL, that's for sure.
Greg, it's always been one of my pleasures covering you. You know, I've talked to you a number of times through the years, you know, in Chicago and there in Carolina. You're one of the great leaders there in Carolina, off the field, Walter Payton recipient. and you and your family have made an impact there. Yesterday, the Carolina Panthers are in the news. A guy you're familiar with, a guy you've played several games against, and also the playoffs when he was in San Francisco. What do you make of your organization signing Eric Reed as a safety to join your team?
Yeah, as you said, even all the way back to 2013, we've played Eric in playoff games, we've played him in regular season games, and he was always a guy on the field and football-wise, that was a guy you accounted for. He was a guy you noticed, his presence, his physicality, what he was able to bring. And, obviously we all know what's transpired over the last few years and what's gone on with him specifically. But it was nice. Yesterday I was at the facility doing my rehab, and he was in for his physical, so I got to meet him really for the first time personally. And just kind of welcome him to the team and try to give him a little bit of an idea of what our team is about and kind of how we operate and what a great group of guys he's joining and what a great locker room we're joining. And I think we're all excited to get to know him. I know a lot has been made about what's gone on out in San Francisco with Con and the whole thing. But, I know from a football standpoint, I think everyone obviously, it's without a doubt, we know he can help our team. And then from the personal standpoint, listen, this is a very complicated issue. There's a lot of people that have very strong feelings, about this anthem policy, but just more on a larger level have, the social policy. So we're excited to have him. We know he's a very intelligent person. Torrey Smith speaks very highly of him, who's a guy I have a lot of respect for, who has a very clear mind and is a very thoughtful person. So Torrey, vouching for him obviously goes a long way, and everyone you've talked to says nothing but good things about him as a person, and I think he's going to fit in our locker room really well.
Greg, as has been the case the last few years, this team seems to go as Cam Newton goes. At least that's what the narrative is as we start previewing this season, just because he tends to have, somewhat up and down starts or middle to the season. How have you seen Cam Newton develop over the 8 seasons that you've spent playing with him? And where is his mindset? How is he looking coming into this year?
Yeah, I think he's gotten off to a really good start. Even our one loss now down in Atlanta in week 2, I thought he played really well. He was really efficient with the ball, kind of taking what they gave him. They played real soft. I know we didn't have a lot of our deep shots like we're accustomed to, but we were real productive underneath. We had a chance to have the ball there in the fourth quarter to go in and tie the game up. We came up short. But I think he's gotten off to as good a start as he has, and I think that's saying a lot. We've seen him play football, arguably at the highest level for anyone who's been a true dual threat quarterback. He's not just a guy who's going to run around and make plays with his feet. He's going to stand in there, as we've seen now for 8 years, and deliver the ball from the pocket on time, in a very complex downfield passing route passing offense that Norv has installed this year. So I think a lot of time he doesn't get the credit he deserves for what the impact he makes on the game, and I think that's unfortunate. But this year specifically, I think his first 3 games has been really good. I think guys around him are playing well, and I think he's a big part of that.
You touched on something that I wanted to ask you about, which is the impact almost emotionally the team seems to get from him. When you look at Cam's raw passing numbers, he gets criticized a lot, but that doesn't include his rushing additions to the team. And I watch the Panthers closely. The juice you guys seem to get from him when he's going well. Can you explain almost his value from that side of it, from the intangible leadership and the tangible what he does as a runner?
Yeah, we've always said if he played linebacker or safety or wide receiver, and the energy he played with and the charisma and kind of the brashness, I think people would applaud him. But just because he plays quarterback, people aren't really accustomed to that. They're used to seeing their quarterback be very cool and calm and collected and kind of and that's just not Cam's style. And you brought up the statistics and passing touchdowns and yardage and whatnot, but you're exactly right. I mean, it's very convenient when people want to talk about Cam and the other elite quarterbacks in the league to leave out that he's rushed for more touchdowns than any player in the league since he's come in, more than any quarterback in the history of the game. His third down scrambles, that's just as good as a third down completion. He's converting first downs. He's moving the chains. So it's unconventional. We're not used to seeing it. It's not the traditional quarterback play we've seen across the league for a long time. But you can't argue that his impact on our team specifically and the impact that he's had in this league, what he's done in his first 8 years, you could say there's no one who's been able to do it in that manner.
Greg, I need your help. I know that you'll have a strong opinion on this. Based on me seeing you a bunch of times and your wife's influence, you're one of the best dressers in the NFL. Myself, I care about my haberdasher also. Cam Newton, can you explain his style to us? Please, help me out, because sometimes Cam gets me upset. You can't? Greg,
I don't know if anyone can explain it.
You go to college at the University of Miami, and you weren't just there. You fit in, okay? Explain this to me, man. You're a world traveler. Explain it to me.
I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot of different people. I've been around a lot of different styles, been in a lot of different locker rooms. There's one Cam, and I don't know how else to really describe it. He's very sure of what his style is. He's very sure of the way he wants to show up to games. Obviously, his post-game press conferences have gotten a lot of attention over the years, but, you know, that's just kind of his thing. That's what makes him tick. He enjoys it. It kind of fits him.
Kind of.
I don't really know what else to say about it.
All right, Greg,
I'll put it this way. I don't think I could have wore it. I don't think I could get away with wearing a designer bathrobe.
Oh, you should try it.
Hey,
try the bathrobe.
Can you imagine?
Please, when you come back, the first game back, do what D-Jack did with Fitzpatrick. Switch post-game outfits.
Cam, if you have 400 yards.
Exactly right. Cam, you and Cam about the same size. Cam wear whatever you're wearing, which always looks good. And you try on Cam's. I'm sure he's got an ascot. There's probably some velour in there. You guys should just switch it up.
Got it all. We go for 400 yards. That's a done deal.
Oh, he said it. He said, all right, if you help CC with his fashion, help me with my fantasy league. I picked Christian McCaffrey this year. I know Ron Rivera said he was going to touch the ball 890 times per game as the season progresses. That's why I grabbed him. How much has he evolved from year one to year two?
Yeah, I think the last 2 weeks kind of show you all you need to see. I think that's a good pick first and foremost. You know, you look in the Atlanta game. You know, we don't have a ton of run game. We fall behind a little bit in the second half. We resort to throwing the ball quite a bit, and he's got, I think, like 14 catches. And then you flip it. Last week against Cincinnati became more of a run game because we got a lead that we were kind of sitting on in the second half, and he rushed the ball 26 times for 180 yards and only had 2 catches. So I think with a guy like Christian, on any given game or a combination of the two, his total yardage, it's like we talked about with Cam. Everyone wanted to get on Christian last year for, you know, rushing yards and rushing attempts and all that. But you got to take the whole picture. And with Christian, it's touches and it's total yards. In some games, it might be, you know, more receiving, more rushing, or vice versa. But overall, his touches and his yards are the impact that he can make on our offense in you know, both facets of the game. And it makes it very hard for defenses to account for him. It makes it very hard for defenses to defend him, and I think we've seen that through the first 3 weeks of the season, just the amount of versatility he brings our offense.
Greg, you guys play in the only division with 3 MVP quarterbacks. You're playing in a division where all 3 teams with those quarterbacks have been to the Super Bowl. I assume that makes the season harder, but I'm guessing there are some benefits to going through that type of gauntlet, assuming you do get to the postseason. What are some of the pluses and negatives of how brutal the NFC South can be?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is pretty much what you just said. This is a quarterback-driven league, and if you look around, you know, certain divisions that have been dominated for, you know, in some cases 10-plus years, typically they're very top-heavy with quarterback play, and the other 3 or 2 teams tend to have a kind of rotating band there. And you know, the reality is in our league for the last almost decade, at least 3 of the teams, and now you could argue all 4 teams, have, you know, high-level elite quarterback play. And I think that, you know 6 games a year, your division games are going to be tough. You're going to have 3 of them on the road that you're going to try to go and steal a few, and you got to hold your own at your own place. So it leaves those other 10 games for what they are. But you know you're going to have 6 of the 16 are going to be tough. They're going to be back and forth. They could be high scoring. They could be low scoring, and that's played out over the last couple of years. And there's not a lot of divisions around the league that can say that on a year-in, year-out basis. But we happen to be in one of them. But to your other point, it prepares us. We've played in a lot of different styles. We've played in a lot of different, hostile environments. You go down on the road to New Orleans late in the season with the division on the line, or like last year we had to do in the playoffs, or you go to Atlanta with things on the line. I mean, those are hard places to play on the road in a dome. So I think that does prepare us for what's out there around the rest of the league. But, if you're asking would we rather play in some other divisions, I think we'd be lying if we said no.
Greg, you've been a dominant tight end in the NFL for a long time. Yourself, Rob Gronkowski. There's some others out there. Tell me, who are the tight ends that you like? Kind of give me your top 4 or 5 tight ends who you feel are the best in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, you name 2 of them there. Obviously, what Gronk's been able to do in his career up there in New England with Brady is pretty special. I know he's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start after week 1 this year, but I think a lot of that is just, a credit to him and just how much defenses really game plan him. I don't think, offensively right now, New England is where they're typically used to being. So he's carrying a lot of that load right now until Edelman gets back and they get Josh Gordon up to speed. But as long as he has Brady, as long as the team has Brady, he has Brady, obviously they got a shot. I think what they do with Kelsey in Kansas City is pretty cool. I've watched a lot of what they do with him over the years since Andy Reid's joined them. And, with Tyreek Hill and Hunt at running back, and then Kelsey, what he can do, and now they add Sammy Watkins. I mean, they got a lot of weapons. So, complete opposite of Gronk. If you're going into a game to take Kelsey away, you got your hands full about 3 or 4 other guys. So I think teams tend to, play them a little bit more honest, and I don't think anybody's kind of solved that riddle, at least through the first 3 games this year. Before he retired, a guy, I know he doesn't play anymore, but a guy that I always mentioned, he was my high school, my recruiting host when I went to the University of Tennessee as a high school senior, was Jason Witten. I always, again, not the flashiest guy, not a guy that was the highlight reel guy, but just a reliable guy, a consistent guy. Teammates loved him. People around the league had a lot of respect for him. He was a guy I always kind of emulated myself after. I wanted a team that, the defensive coordinator comes up to you and tells you how much he appreciates you, but you're not the guy everyone's always talking about. You're not the guy, dancing and making all the scenes. That was kind of always something I modeled myself after. So Jason had a big impact on me in that regard.
Greg, just so people don't think you chose groceries as your decorative background for the interview with us this morning, tell us why you are here this morning.
Yeah, so I've teamed up with Walgreens and P&G. I'm sure just like you guys and all the folks watching this, I have 3 young kids. Our household is chaotic and hectic and busy, and it takes a lot to run those houses. So with teaming up with them, and they're, for the month of October, they're running a campaign called the BOGO 50 Blitz. You can go get any certain participating P&G products at your local Walgreens, and you can get that same product 50% off. And through the month of October, just to be able to stock up on things that we all know we take for granted on a daily basis that it takes to run our household, provide for our children. It's a really cool campaign. I'm happy to work with them because I know what it's like. I see what my wife has to do on a daily basis, providing for 3 little crazy ones, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been cool working with them.
All right, Greg, just to recap, if Cam Newton throws for over 400 yards, you will wear a bathrobe to the press conference. Did we agree on
whatever
that?
Cam was going to wear, he's going to wear.
Okay, we want to make sure we had that solidified, and it's out.
It's on the record.
Okay,
it's on the record.
He's going to join his boy Jason Witten in the Monday night booth.
Give him some help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Greg.
We really appreciate it. Good luck with your healing the rest of the way. We got much more First Things First right after this.
Get healthy, buddy.
You're not flying? Wow. I mean, give me the 4-hour flight. Couple movies. Next thing you know, we're in the hotel watching TV. But days in the car with the kids? Stopping all the time? Boring. I don't get it.
Well, we like driving.
Memories built to last. They're possible in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe, our most advanced SUV ever.
Howdy, folks. For under $20, you can fill up with KFC's 10-piece chicken feast and even have some left over in case a guest drops by. A motorcycle at the table? I do not approve! It's 10-piece, and it's a feast.
This season, keep your stories interessante, like Dos Equis, the beer whose label inspired the greatest comeback in history.
Authentic Mexican cerveza.
4.2% alcohol by volume. 1 gram protein, 0 gram fat. Total Coke, 12 fluid outside.
Dos Equis, keep it interessante.
My car isn't that different than your car.
We both stop for routine maintenance to keep them performing at their best.
And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetic from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetic. Make the switch.
Check it out.
There's a variety of packages so we can take care of any additions you want to do up here.
This could be a song about home insurance.
All right, I'll try that.
Wait. Maybe it's about auto insurance.
With Nationwide, you can save up to 20% by bundling your home and auto insurance.
Bundling home and auto. 2 songs in one. What do you call that, a crossover?
No, it's more of a mashup.
Yeah, mashup. You see, that's why we're a great band.
We're not a band.
Yes, we are. We are a band. I am in a band.
Major League Baseball on Fox. Red Sox, Yankees, Cardinals, Cubs. Saturday at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Fox.
Did you know that 1/3 of Americans are affected by cybercrime? Every time you're online, your private information can be stolen, sold, or exploited. That's why you need NordVPN. Online protection trusted by millions of people worldwide. Prevent hackers seeing your transaction details. Protect your family's online activity and keep your private information safe. NordVPN uses military-grade encryption that protects your information from online tracking. In just a few clicks, you can protect up to 6 devices for just $5 per month. Don't risk being hacked. Install NordVPN and protect yourself from cyber criminals, strangers, and annoying ads. With secure streaming, malware, and ad blocking benefits. For ultimate online privacy, there's only one solution: NordVPN. Protect your family with military-grade encryption on up to 6 devices from just $5 per month at NordVPN.com/TV today.
This is what wakes us. This is what brings us together. This is NFL Game Day Morning.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge factor, okay?
Back here, first things first. Undisputed is coming up at 9:30 sharp. Alex Curry filling in for Jenny Taft.
Boy, close call. Boy, you so funny.
What is happening? Alex, good morning to you. What is going on? Talk to me what's happening on the show.
Filling in for Jenny Taft. What up? Tell us what y'all talking about today.
Oh, hello, guys, and happy Friday coming up on Undisputed. Are the Rams clearly the best team in the NFL? And will Zeke carry the Cowboys to a win on Sunday? Plus, Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson is in studio with us. Undisputed coming up next, guys. Back to you.
All right, Alex, we look forward to that. Thank you very much. We are now going viral here on First Things First. So LeBron left Cleveland to join the Lakers this offseason. However, one of LeBron's old Cavs teammates still believes they are the team to beat in the East. Take a listen.
We're still 4-time Eastern Conference champions. So until you take us down from that, teams ain't got much to say. Boston, Philly, they ain't got much to say. Boston had home court game 7, lost. Philly, you guys almost got swept. Toronto, we already know that story. So until someone takes us down, not much they can really say. Not to me.
Okay, hold on. After hearing this proclamation, some players chimed in. Joel Embiid commented on Instagram saying, LMAO, boy, if you don't. And Ben Simmons commented, ha, yeah, okay, buddy, see you soon.
I mean, I like Tristan, but this big old doofus, man, those 4 Eastern Conference championships, you still got the banners, but they went out the door with LeBron.
The Kardashians brainwashed him. He don't know what he's talking about. Like, he seriously, they told him LeBron is coming right before that. That's why he was talking stuff like that. The only way you can do something like that, either that or he's in the concussion protocol after Draymond. Him and Draymond got into a fight this offseason.
In L.A.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Those are my only 2 solutions.
Or he's got ink poisoning the way his teammate Jordan Clarkson does. Something happened, man. Support Toronto. Toronto's still catching strays. Toronto, we know the story.
They're not even in the conversation.
Kawhi was laughing.
You guys are can't help but laugh. He wanted us to laugh, he laughed. Moving on to Thursday Night Football, Vikings, Rams, and this aerial attack at the Coliseum courtesy of Los Angeles. God, I hope Jared Goff was recording that game. Rams quarterback finished with career highs of 465 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. The first Rams QB with 5 TDs since Kurt Warner did it back in 1999. Goff finished with a perfect passer rating. So the Rams are now 4-0 for the first time in 17 years. See, what was the key to the Rams beating the Vikings in this game last night?
And Jared Goff. Like, up until this point, we're watching them say Sean McVay, Cooks,
Todd Gurley.
Their offensive line's much improved, but we got to give credit to the quarterback. There's no way that you can run an offense like this, the multiple formations, the amount of motions, his ball action from a quarterback into that play action, like you don't know where the football's going to be. Pinpoint precision. Arm has obviously gotten stronger in his third year going in compared to the guy we saw in his rookie year. I think, Nick, he threw 4 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns in his whole rookie season. He threw 5 last night.
So I got to give a lot of credit to the quarterback. I mean, he made at least 5 big-time throws, not just on the touchdowns, but just in making reads. There was a couple times it was bad. He got pressured from his right, able to get off of that. High completion percentage. And as Nick pointed out, we were watching some of the tape of the game this morning. I mean, the touchdown to Cooks, like, he couldn't do that at any point in his career with any type of consistency. Not the big type of arm, but you can see the anticipation and the accuracy. Bright things there in Los Angeles.
We might be approaching a bit of a perfect storm in the AFC and NFC when you look at the 2 offenses that are dominating. Who their head coaches are, the ability of their quarterbacks, their skill position guys, and then the part that we have not discussed yet this morning, where the NFL is right now. Everybody's setting passing records. Every is the highest completion percentage ever, most yards, the highest, all these things. The NFL has made a concerted effort through rule changes, through adjustments, to make it a pass-friendly league. And we got Sean McVay, who seems to be something of a mad scientist. I was watching him, what they were doing pre-snap to get Cooks, or I'm sorry, not to get Cooks, but Kupp and then Woods lined up on Anthony Barr. And then he knew that was a touchdown before the snap. On the one where it was Robert Woods, all he had to do was make sure Sendejo, the safety, moved over, and that was a touchdown. And on the other one, they shifted Kupp around enough to where there was a good chance that the nickel was going to get caught up in the wash or was going to go the wrong way. And now he's got a linebacker on him. So you have all these weapons. And then to C's point, a quarterback playing far better than I thought he could. Last night was the most pass attempts in NFL history by a player with a perfect passer rating. So we've never seen someone have a perfect passer rating throw the ball that much. Last night was the second time in 25 years any team has put up that many yards with only 1 third down conversion.
Wow.
Like, they only converted 1 third down. They only had to convert 1 third down because they were so consistently picking up yards on 1st and 2nd down. It was a tour de force of offensive football from every angle for the Los Angeles Rams yesterday.
But you can only have those kind of aerial attacks that the Rams and the Chiefs have if you have a quarterback with a strong arm and you have fast wide receivers. Those seem to be the recipe. If you're missing in one, it doesn't quite work out for you that way. And I think that's why these 2 teams are playing as well as they are.
They are, but they also have the creativeness. And I believe that that's the component. You can't just overpower teams. You're not going to be able to out-athletic teams, but you can give them a number of different looks. And the Rams, they run the ball so well, and they match up their passing game and their play action off of all the runs with Todd Gurley. Now, we haven't seen Kansas City do it that way. They're doing it a different way, but you don't know where these guys are going to be on both of these teams, so they have so many weapons that they can throw the ball to.
And lastly, just quickly on this, what the Rams have is, on the touchdown to Woods, it's not that the Vikings got misaligned. They made a choice. We're going to stay in base defense, even though you have 3 wide receivers out there, because we are afraid that if we go to nickel, you're just going to run the ball with Todd Gurley. So that's going to put a linebacker on a wide receiver, and Jared Goff, props to him for the evolving this way as a quarterback. He looks at it and doesn't say Cooks is awesome and Kupp's having a great game. He says, what's the best matchup? I'm going there, and it led to a 5-touchdown game. 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. No Rams quarterback's done that since Norm Van Brocklin. I mean, that was a great game.
All right, moving on to the Patriots now. Unfamiliar territory for them of late, trailing in their own division. China, they've won the AFC East 14 of the last 15 years. Oh, yes. But the Dolphins are quietly making a run, 3-0 heading into Foxborough on Sunday with a good group of players that no one's really talking about. Patriots, on the other hand, coming off back-to-back losses. Here's Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill.
Well, I think that's something they've done a good job of. We've had our opportunities up there. We've had put halves of football together up there, but haven't played a full game. So that's going to be big emphasis for us this week is to go up and play a full 4 quarters.
All right, CC, what do the Patriots have to do to kickstart this offense a little bit, get themselves back into things?
Well, we know they're going to look at what happened in Detroit and try to get that part fixed. And what you saw was a lack of overall team speed, not a bunch of linebackers that could cover running backs or secondary receivers. And what you're going to see in Miami is you're going to see one of the fastest teams. Nick has tracked the spark scores of guys in Kansas City, but man, they got some fast guys in it, and for the Miami Dolphins.
They got 5 guys 4-4 or faster.
Yes,
that are significant playmakers, not on the roster. 4 of their top wide receivers and their running backs 4-4 or faster.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake, and we saw how he finished the season strong last year. I think the last meeting against New England, 193 yards from scrimmage, and then you add Frank Gore, that powerful punch. People not realize 14,000 yards. So the Dolphins get ahead of you with a lot of that speed. Look for the Wildcat to come back. It was 10 years ago where they launched a Wildcat with Ronnie Brown against New England. And speaking with Adam Case, he believes he's got several guys that can run the Wildcat and to be able to keep the defense off balance. So that's what I'll be watching is New England trying to correct what happened in Detroit. But, man, if they thought Detroit was fast, wait till they see the Miami Dolphins.
I think the Pats will win this game because I haven't really mentally prepared for what it will mean.
Because it's a must-win.
Yes, because what it will mean if they don't. If they don't win this game, then no matter what else happens in the NFL on Sunday, Monday we are sitting here talking about, is this the end of the Patriots era? And it's not overreacting. They would have lost 3 straight games for the first time since 2002. They haven't lost a divisional home game that Brady plays the whole game since 2006. It's been over a decade. They have dominated these games in these situations. I think they'll win. If they don't win, it is absolute press the red button panic time in New England.
We'll get Nick some oxygen if they don't win.
I would be shocked.
If Miami wins, we open the show with it.
100%.
Right. We got to go. Have a great weekend, everyone. We are back here Monday morning at 6:30 Eastern. Stay right here. Undisputed starts right now.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy. Let's go face to face. I embrace debate. I don't make mistakes. I just make my case. Drop mic when I'm done. One more game. I say like to my tongue. I don't like the taste. I'm on and I'm on and I own my phone and I'm always in the zone. Either zone out of zone and then we can get it poppin'. Pick the topic if you want to skip it down and skip it happen. 50 minutes pocket. All right, undisputed.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Kerr here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Happy Friday, guys.
Hi, Alex. Welcome back. It's so nice to see you again.
Hey, Alex, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, see you.
I'm loving both the love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How your boy look today? You like this look on your boy?
Who are you, Bruce Bowen?
Whoa, no. You know, today at about 3 o'clock, I'll be at the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, selling banana nut flavored bean pies and German chocolate flavor color bean pies.
Is this a new endeavor?
Yeah, you know.
Make a few extra bucks?
Yeah, I'll be passing out the final call.
Really?
Last call, I think that's the name of it.
Yeah?
The magazine that they.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm thinking about,
with this, because me and Alex, we got this today.
Me and Mr. Farrakhan, the last of the dying breed.
Oh, so that's what you're doing.
Got that part like Mr. Farrakhan.
Oh.
How you doing today?
I'm better than you are.
No, you're not. Not after what you saw last night.
You're about to get punished.
We'll find out soon, guys. Let's start with last night's big win by the Rams. If you love offense, this was the game for you. There was over 1,000 total yards, and Jared Goff had a career high with 5 touchdown passes and 465 yards. 2 of Goff's TD passes went to Cooper Kupp, who had a huge game. Kirk Cousins threw 3 touchdown passes, but he was sacked and fumbled with just over a minute left in the game, and the Vikings down by 7. The Rams held on for the 38-31 win, and they're now a perfect 4-0 for the first time since 2001. I mean, that was exciting football. Shannon, did the Rams prove that they are the best team in the NFL?
I believe they are. And I think Sean McVay and the brilliant game that he called last night, Skip, he found a matchup that he really liked. And what he found out that when they emptied the backfield and motioned Todd Gurley
that Anthony Barr a lot of times was going to be covering receivers. And they kept going to the well because they liked the way the water tastes. And what we're starting to see with Minnesota, Skip, is that what we saw in the NFC Championship game has carried over.
I'd say.
We thought this was like, man, they're a quarterback away. Kirk Cousins played well enough for them to win. But when you allow a quarterback to go 33, 27 to 33, or 26 to 33 for 465, 5 touchdowns, you're not going to win very many games. Skip, they're loaded. You look at Cup, you look at Brandon Cooks. Tom Brady threw 5 TVs out the window last night. He looking at Brandon Cooks. He said, hold on, wait a minute.
I tweeted that during the game. I said, if Tom Brady's watching this, he's thinking, my coach traded that guy to those guys? Really? And I don't have anybody left?
Well, you got Sonny Michel out of the
Oh.
I mean, ain't that worth something, Skip?
Not yet.
But anyway, when you look at what they have offensively, they have 3 receivers, and all 3 of those guys went over 100 yards. You have Todd Gurley, who right now, since Le'Veon's not in the game playing, I think he's the best running back in football. What we're seeing, Skip, is the evolution of the running back position. It's just not good enough for you to rush for 1,300 yards. You must be able to catch the ball down the field. We saw Todd Gurley. We see that with Alvin Kamara. We see that with David Johnson. We're seeing the evolution that just turning around and handing it to a guy is not going to be good enough for you to play that position. Now, all the top teams in the NFC, Skip, if you look at them, they struggle defensively. Look at New Orleans. Look at it's not just NFC, but in the NFL. Kansas City struggles defensively. Offense is dynamic. New Orleans struggles defensively. Offense is dynamic. So what we saw with the Rams. But, Skip, if you look at them as a team from top to bottom offensively, they really have no weakness. They can run it. They can throw it. And they forced Minnesota to what they did because Minnesota wanted to play what we call, Skip, a 4-2-5. They want to play with 2 linebackers. Nickel defense. Now, I would have thought they would go to a dime defense, 5 defensive backs. But when you do that, you take one of those big linebackers, Kendrick or Barr, off the field. They said, well, if we do that, they still got Gurley back there. We don't want a DB trying to hold up against an offensive lineman. So that's the dilemma that teams are going to face when they face this offense. Now, Talib will come back. I believe Talib is their best corner. And Kirk Cousins was dealing last night against them because they found some matchups that they like. Shields, let me recommend this. You stop looking into the backfield because when you're 10 yards away, there's nothing you can do to the quarterback. You need to pay attention to the guy that you're guarding. But what I saw last night, Skip, and the way Jared Goff threw the ball, the one throw, and you know what I'm talking about. We've seen quarterbacks, they'll be at 10, 20, 30, or 40 yards. And they're trying to throw a football, Skip, into a big trash can down the field. They call that dropping it in the bucket. Now, we've seen guys drop it in the bucket from the standing platform position in the pocket. What he did on the move, I can only think of one other quarterback that can do that, Skip Bayless. You know where he resides. He's in Wisconsin. Aaron Rodgers. That was Aaron Rodgers-esque.
Really?
I remember, Alex, you weren't here at the time, but in 2016, there was a discussion between me and the guy sitting across from me. I ain't going to call his name, but he was sitting across from me, and he was telling me that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in that draft. That's what he was telling me. I don't really think we'll be having that discussion anytime soon.
By the way, on Monday Night Football of a year ago at Arizona, Dak Prescott rolled to his right and dropped it in the bucket 60 yards away to Bryce Butler in the end zone. Yes, he did. I'm sorry. You keep ignoring what has happened. You say you got to update your resume, and you continue to talk about Dak Prescott as if he's a bust, and you are going to eat all those words. Tell me when it's my turn.
Okay, one more before I go. Has he updated his resume?
Not yet.
Okay. Your turn.
Well, one out of 3 games he did.
You got to go.
They're 1 and 2. Thank you very much. So you made a lot of interesting points, some decent points here and there, but your opening statement was dead wrong. I disagree. I am not yet sold on the Rams. I know you're a fan, but that's okay. It's okay. I'm not yet sold on the Rams because I am definitely not sold on their competition last night. You know, and I know that team is not very good on defense, and you did allude to that. But they're not just ordinary; they're bad on defense. So how can I exaggerate or overreact to what Jared Goff did? And he had a Hollywood night. He had his night of nights. He lit it up. He lit up the L.A. sky last night. And again, all those things you said are true. He got off hot, and he stayed hot all night. because the Vikings aren't very good. And how a guy like Mike Zimmer, who, again, I covered him in Dallas when he was the DB coach, how can you leave Anthony Barr? I don't know, because it looked like they were just scheming all that. That's what Goff said after the game. We thought we were going to get that matchup, and when we got it, we were like, yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Again, I don't mind Anthony Barr on Gurley for the first touchdown because that's just going to happen.
Yes.
But after that, on Kupp, on Robert Woods, it's just, it's not fair.
No.
You know it, and I know. How does that happen? I want to know what this guy, I don't know exactly what the defense called was, but how do you wind up, and Anthony Barr can run a little bit. He ran 4.6 at the combine, but he can't run with those guys,
no,
right?
With a running back, Skip, I agree with you. There's no problem because, hey, okay, that's a matchup. But you don't want him outside on Cooper Kupp on a go route. But what happens, Skip, is that if they empty the backfield and they motion the guy and they bump it, so now Goff knows, hold on, in the slot, guarding Brandon Cooks or guarding Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods. That's Anthony Barr.
What?
That's a linebacker.
Yeah. So Robert Woods.
Let me look here.
He just ran basically a go route out of the slot, and Anthony Barr's backpedaling like, wait a minute, I got to run with him, I think, and it's just like pitch and catch, touchdown.
Because when they overload one side, if Goff stares this side down, he's going to move the safety. The safety's going to say, oh, it's 3-by-3.
So, big picture, what should the Minnesota Vikings be? They should be 1-3 because Clay Matthews got robbed. Green Bay got robbed because that was a textbook takedown tackle. That was the letter of the new law kind of takedown sack that Clay executed on Kirk Cousins at Lambeau, in which the new language is you got to brace yourself. He put his left arm down and he braced his fall, and he did not come down full force, full body weight on top of Kirk Cousins, and they still threw the flag. Tony Corrente did.
You don't have to have all your force.
Okay, but that was overreaction, and unfortunately it came at the key moment of the game, just as Kirk Cousins had turned back into Kurt Cousins and thrown the pick, the interception that would have ended that game in favor of Green Bay. Instead, 1-3 turned into they stole a tie. That's what they did. So, but they should be 1-3. So, this Vikings defense, let's go back to that NFC Championship game. Just for the record, it was 38-7. Nick Foles, again, it's the backup quarterback, and he is about to do the same thing to New England, but 38-7 with 456 total yards, 10 of 14 on third down. Wow. How good are they? Because they just lost at home to Josh Allen, rookie quarterback, first start, and he puts up 27 against that defense. They're just not very good. I give you the offense. I give you both offense. I mean, but those are two of the best offenses in pro football, and I wasn't quite ready for that because I kept thinking both came into the year with what I thought was a good defense. But the Rams, they gave up 446 yards last night. Can I be sold on 446? Can I be sold on Kirk Cousins going 8 of 16 on third down? That's not great.
The Rams weren't very good on third down.
They
didn't get a lot of third down.
They didn't need to be good. They were one out of 6, and they blew the fourth down because they tried the trick play. And I don't know what the receiver's doing. He just lost the ball.
But the thing is, you have to look at the Vikings offense, Skip. How many teams have a Thielen and Diggs? Because they had it going last night, and then you throw Rudolph into the mix.
Okay, I got all that. And the Rams shocked me because last night they were partying in L.A. like it was 1999 because it looked like the 99 St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, the Coliseum was hype.
It was hype, but it looked like the greatest show, not on turf, but on grass, right? Because they're throwing it all over the lot. And I saw an ESPN ranking this morning that had their receiver group, that ranking all the receiver groups, not the tight end, but just the wideouts, that they're ranked number 1 in the league, and that they exploit 3 receivers more than anybody by far. Last year and this year, they're all 3 receivers. They've been 99% of the time 3 receivers, what they call 11 personnel.
That's correct.
Okay, so they're the flying circus, man. And I'm not sure it's about the defense, although Aaron Donald, I've said this many times before, he never catches my eye. He's an anchor in the middle, but he doesn't ever eye test flash for me until late last night. And he had 2 sacks late in the game, and it was kind of Khalil Mack-ish kind of stuff, where it didn't feel like and then Sue got one also, but kind of took the game over. Now, to the bottom line on this football game. One thing happened in this game that turned everything. You mentioned it earlier. What happened turnover-wise in this game? There was only 1 turnover in this game. Only 1 by both teams combined, and it was committed by your guy. First Cousins committed it. Is he second or third now, or what?
Well, he moved back up in the rankings because I thought he played well.
Okay, but this is classic, vintage Kirk Cousins. he will light up the stats, and then he will blow up when you least need him to blow up. You can always count on Kirk Cousins, especially in big games, making the big late mistake. And right on time, right when you kind of least expect it, because it looked like he had just converted a 3rd and 9 to Treadwell. Mm-hmm. He threw it 13 yards to Treadwell. It was terrific, man. And all of a sudden, it's 1st and 10 at the 48. And I'm thinking, Kirk Cousins is going to get them back in this game. And what happened on the next play? Double clutch, kind of double pump.
No, he didn't double pump. Yeah, he just went back, get ready to pass, and the guy swiped it.
No, he went twice. Yeah. He went twice, and the ball got knocked out of his hands because it's Kirk Cousins. It's what happens. It's what he does. He stuffs the stat sheet, and then he commits the turnovers.
I know a guy that had the ultimate stat sheet game. In the Super Bowl, he threw for 505, and what happened? Yep.
How can you put Kirk Cousins and Tom Brady?
I'm putting what happened to Kirk Cousins.
He does this every time. What have I told you about Kirk Cousins against my Cowboys? He went 1-6 against my Cowboys in his time in Washington.
So are we not going to give a guy a great play?
1-6?
Okay.
How can you do that?
He went 1-6.
He went 0-4 against Dak, and he went 0-4 at home against the Cowboys. And you know why? Because when you need him to, he will go to church, as in throw an interception to Barry Church in the end zone that turns the whole game around.
Skip, I would never compare Kirk Cousins to Tom Brady. All I'm saying is that Tom Brady threw for 505, but what happened? Brandon Graham knocked the ball out of his hand. Mm-hmm. Okay, Kurt had an unbelievable game last night.
Kurt with a T.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No,
you said Kurt. I think you know.
First cousin. Yeah. Well, he's second cousin because he did turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. Skip, it happened. The guy made a great play. Just like Aaron Donald. I mean, sometimes Aaron Donald on one of those sacks, he was getting double. He chops, hops, gets skinny, gets round, makes a play.
It's just Kirk Cousins. So look at his record now. He was 26-30-1 as the Redskins starter, and he should be 1-3 with the Vikings. This is the guy you gave $84 million guaranteed dollars to,
right.
$28 million a year for 3 years. Unprecedented. It's all guaranteed.
Fully.
He is good to go for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay? That's the guy. Is he worth that? I'm telling you, he's the most overpaid quarterback or player, if you want to throw on player, in the history of the National Football League.
But here's the thing, though, that when they signed him, they said we're a quarterback away. Zimmer and the Vikings higher-ups did not think this defense would take this kind of step backwards. Mm-hmm. And, Skip, normally what we see, and we've seen this for a very long time. If you look at the 2000 Ravens, they weren't as good in 2001. You look at the 02 Bucks, they weren't as good in 03. Only the 85 Bears, and people don't realize this, Skip. The 86 Bears defense was actually better than the 85 Bears. But because they didn't win the Super Bowl, that's all that matters when it's all said and done.
Okay.
What did you accomplish at the end of the day? And as great as Minnesota's defense was last year up into the NFC Championship game, they've been as abysmal this year.
Okay. So, to finish off on Kirk Cousins, he puts up numbers against everybody. The classic Cousins game was against Dak on Thanksgiving 2 years ago at Jerry World when he was, you remember the stat, because I can't remember.
He threw for
453.
Yeah.
And yet he went 1 for 5 in the red zone. So Dak went 4 for 4, and that was just the difference in the game. Right. It was a close game. It was a teeter-totter, back and forth. But Kirk doesn't make the play, or he will commit the turnover to lose the game. And what did he do at Lambeau? He played very well at Lambeau until it was time, and then he just sort of closed his eyes and flung one up that got picked off.
Well, he knew Clay had roughed it. So he just put it up.
Oh, he knew it? I think that happened. I think the ball was gone before Clay got there.
But he knew Clay couldn't help himself.
Okay. So who
do you think is the best team?
I don't think it's shown itself yet. I don't think that's been revealed. But all I know is this. Jacksonville has the best defense. And my Cowboys are somewhere in that conversation for having best defense. And I think Cleveland's in there. But these two defenses, I don't know if I trust either one of them.
Do you really?
Trust the offense. Let me ask you a question. Can these teams continue to outscore?
Do you want Dallas offense to deal with the Rams after what happened to them in Seattle? Do you remember what happened to the Rams last year? And Jared Goff is even better. And they didn't have Brandon Cooks last year.
Yeah.
So now, is that what you want to see?
What I saw at Jerry World last year when the Rams visited?
Yeah.
When we were ahead, what was it, 28-12?
You notice how you preface that as an English major. You know what word was, right? Past tense. You were.
Okay, but you just said that's the last. That's when I got a glimpse of what these guys. They're still pretty close to the same team.
With Brandon Cooks.
Well,
that's a whole different animal, Skip.
Well, they had Gurley.
Oh yeah, and he's still cooking. And he's still cooking. And golf is even better than last year because in 2016 you told me on several occasions, oh, that's the best quarterback in the draft class.
Dak lit up this defense last year. He lit it up, man.
Lit up what defense?
The Rams. He had a QBR of like 80-something. He was really good in that game. But no Sean Lee, no hope in the second half.
Oh, and so where's Sean Lee now?
He's gone.
I tried to tell you this. I said, Skip, what is the history? The greatest predictor of the future is past events. Okay, I told you. Sean Lee's history says at some point in time he's going to get nicked.
Well,
we didn't foresee it being this soon. But, Skip, the thing is, Minnesota, they did not foresee their defense being this bad. No one did. No one saw this coming. He's like, okay, can Kirk Cousins do enough? Yeah, he's doing more than enough. Now, remember, we keep talking about how Kirk, what he should be. Look at Buffalo's defense, what they gave up against Buffalo. I mean, the Vikings defense, what they gave up to the Bills at home.
That's what I'm saying. It was 27-6.
It was 27-0 at the half?
Yeah.
Or 24-0 at the half? Yeah. You can't play like this. I thought Kirk played well. I played unbelievable to the final.
He did. He often does.
He made some throws that Peters is in perfect position. Skip that touchdown to Robinson. Peters was like, there's no way he's going to attempt to throw this.
But you know what? Several of those throws were prayer throws. They're just like you throw it up, and sometimes it gets through, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, Johnson buzzed the flat, and that's how, I mean, it's a game of inches. He almost had a pick six early in the game.
Sam Shields.
Yeah, no. That was Johnson that buzzed the flat, and the ball
I thought it was Sam Shields on the tip pass. No, you're talking about another one.
Yeah,
See, there were so many
Johnson,
of those
in the first drive. Yeah,
but there was one on Sam Shields where he just jumps the route, and the ball gets tipped up in the air, and fortunately for Kirk Cousins, it winds up on the ground.
Yeah.
But the point is, Sam Shields is over there holding his helmet like. How did that ball
he should have held his helmet after all them blown assignments and Stephon Diggs cooking him. He ought to know 2-by-1. The receiver runs a route, Skip. He runs 5 yards. The inside slot guy, you know he's running the seam. You got to overlap, play 2-to-1. What does he do? He looking around. No, that's you. We know it's you. Well, maybe the casual fan doesn't know it's you, but I know it's you. But don't worry about it.
I will never. I will never forgive Sam Shields for the worst play of my life.
What?
The touchdown catch. It was a catch.
Why you blaming
Sam Shields was the defender on that play.
Made a great play. But
made a great play. Yeah.
No, he didn't make a great play. It just wasn't a catch. Dad didn't hold on to it anyway. Should have put it in his pocket.
We would have won the next game.
Well, if he'd caught it the first time clean, it would have been no problem. That's what you do. You catch it clean. You know, you don't get multiple catches for bobbling the ball. So it's not like you get 1, 2, 3, 4.
Clean and tried to slam it on the goal line.
O'Shea catch that thing clean, put it in the back pocket.
No.
But I'm telling you, that offense to deal with. The Rams, they're to deal with. Now,
they are.
The Saints have a very similar offense.
But if you head coach is Sean Payton-esque. He's the new Sean Payton.
You know what?
Calling it, seeing it, figuring it out.
The owner, Daniel Snyder, he might be sitting up in his office this morning. Like, you know what? Maybe we should have kept Sean McVay and got rid of the.
It's highly possible. I give you that. Who knew? He was only your, quarterback coach? He wasn't a coordinator because Jay Gruden called the play.
Yeah, we see how that's working out.
Well,
get him, Sean. He's from the crib, too. He went to Marist High School.
You know what? I told you at the start of the season, if I had any guts, I would say the Vikings will miss the playoffs, and I didn't have the guts. Well, I said in that division, surely they
if Jerry had some guts, he'd have hired Sean McVay, let him do what he does. If he had some guts, but see, he don't want to back off. You think? Let me ask you a question, Skip. You think the Vikings micromanaging Sean McVay?
You mean the Rams?
I mean the Rams.
Yeah.
You think they're micromanaging him?
As in looking over his shoulder?
Talking, giving interviews, talking about this is who.
No.
Exactly.
No, he's the man.
Exactly.
He is the spokesman for
and
that
if you
team.
look at the teams that are successful, look at how they're managed. And look at the teams talking about, oh boy, they got a lot of talent. Oh, they should do this. Look how they managed. Just saying. Ain't none of my business, though.
All right, we'll talk about them in just a second.
We will. Bottom line, that was exciting football last night. Now,
It was.
I'm going to say, I think Rams are the best team in the NFL.
I'm shocked.
They're the
you would
whole
say
package.
that.
I'm glad it was on Fox, but that's not football.
Alex, aren't you born and raised in L.A.?
I'm a little biased, yeah.
Thank you.
LA native.
Okay.
I'm glad the game was on Fox.
Yeah.
But that's not football. You know that.
Well,
I mean,
it was exciting.
Yeah,
football.
it was exciting
the fans
football.
love it.
Yeah, all offense.
Come on, Skip.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, moving
I'm
on.
with you.
That's Madden 2K.
Moving on to Skip's Cowboys. Will Ezekiel Elliott carry the Cowboys to a win on Sunday? We'll discuss that next.
Maybe.
Look around. With artificial intelligence, we are not crawling or walking. We are flying. Microsoft AI helps an architect bring history back to life. This is now. AI helps farmers grow more food with less resources. An engineer explores how AI could help the deaf see sound. Innovation creates tomorrow, and tomorrow is here today.
KFC presents the new 10-piece chicken piece for only $19.99, featuring 2 large mashed potatoes and 4 biscuits, with a whopping 10 pieces of chicken. Get it all for only $19.99 before it's gone. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
If it feels like you live in the bathroom with recurring constipation and belly pain, talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Yes, Linzess treats adults with IBS with constipation or chronic constipation. Linzess can help relieve your belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movement. Linzess is not a laxative. It helps you get ahead of your recurring constipation. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stool. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. So say yes to help for recurring constipation. Yes to help for belly pain. Talk to your doctor and say yes, Linzess.
College football doubleheader on Fox. First, it's a brawl in the Big Ten. Jay Patterson leads the Wolverines air assault as they set their sights on the Wildcats. Then the Cougars look to stay hot in a shootout with Jake Browning and the Huskies. Unbelievable college football. Michigan, Northwestern, BYU, Washington. It all starts tomorrow at 4 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Ooh, Brad, check it out. There's a variety of packages, so we can take care of any additions you want to do up here. This could be a song about home insurance. All right, I'll try that. Wait. Maybe it's about auto insurance. With Nationwide, you can save up to 20% by bundling your home and auto insurance. Bundling home and auto. 2 songs in one. What do you call that, a crossover? No, it's more of a mashup. Yeah, mashup. You see, that's why we're a great band. We're not a band. Yes, we are. We are a band. I am in a band.
Dad, look. Dad, look. Dad, look. Dad, look. Dad, look. Dad, look. Dad, look.
An SUV that looks out for everyone. It's possible in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe with safe exit assist.
Fighting wrinkles in average shirts. Fighting wrinkles in Duluth Wrinkle Fighter shirts. Duluth Trading Wrinkle Fighter shirts. Skip the fuss, nix the wrinkles. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
Wandering through secret hills and telling stories round the grill. From lazing out on peaceful docks to raging to a band that rocks. You never know just where in life Corona cans might take you now.
Undisputed is sponsored by DraftKings. Play free this Sunday for your share of over $1 million. Now, the Cowboys are a 3-point favorite at home against the Lions Sunday on Fox. The Cowboys offense has struggled so far this season, averaging under 14 points a game. Ezekiel Elliott leads the league in rushing, but he hasn't had more than 17 carries in a game. Earlier this week, he was asked about his lack of carries and said, quote, "You can't run the ball if you're down by 17 points." So, Shannon, who wins on Sunday, and what will Zeke's stat line be?
I got the Cowboys winning on Sunday.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. Look, the Lions won Monday. What was that? Sunday night. But we know why, Skip. Matt Patricia get his first win, his old team. He knows this team. He knows all their personnel. He knows all their calls, kind of like the John Gruden situation when he faced his old team. We see this happen a lot. Only Coach Saban's system can't beat him. But we're not talking about Coach Saban right now.
The guy who flamed out in pro football. Go ahead.
You
brought it up. I slammed the door. Go ahead. Next question.
That guy that flamed out, he was the last head coach for the Dolphins to beat Tom Brady.
Really?
But we're not talking about it. Zeke's stat line. Now, this is what we know. The Rams. The Lions average giving up 149 rush, 5.4. That's worse than the NFL.
Yep.
What can the Cowboys do? Who leads the league in rushing, Skip? Zeke Elliott. So here's my suggestion.
I mean, the best running back.
No.
Well, you already said you said Gurley was the best, but who leads the league in rushing?
Yeah. But look at all them other numbers. How many catches he got?
I brought it up yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
I enlightened you as to that. Go ahead.
Exactly. So here's my stat line for Zeke.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he goes for 27 attempts, $143, 2 touchdowns. If Zeke Elliott has less than 20 rush attempts, Jerry Jones should come downstairs. After the game, because he'll be there. He'll be giving his press conference. He should say, if Zeke Elliott has less than 20 rush attempts, I'm firing everybody on the offensive side of the football.
Everybody. Yeah.
Everybody got to go. Everybody got to go.
Who's going to call play?
I don't care. We'll work that out later.
Jerry's grandson, the quarterback at Highland Park High School that keeps winning state championships. He can call play.
We'll figure that part out later, Skip, because this will be unacceptable.
Okay.
A team that gives up 150 yards rushing, 5.4 yards per attempt. Now, Zeke is averaging 7 yards a carry, Skip, on first down. That's pretty good. And if you remember, when Zeke and the Cowboys and Dak had their most success, Zeke was averaging 5.1 on first down. Makes it a lot easier to pick up 3rd and 1 to 3 as opposed to 3rd and long. Anything over 6 yards, we would consider 3rd and long. But that's not the here nor there, Skip. I'm just drop a little bit of that for you. So this is what I believe. I believe Zeke will have a monster day. Dak would do just enough. He'll piddle around, Dak it down. Skip, do you know Dak's average release time is 3 seconds? That's 3rd worst in the NFL.
Okay.
He's last in 20-yard attempts. Throwing the ball. He got one completion that's longer than 20 yards. Did you know that? A quarterback in the NFL in his 3rd game. Lord have mercy. Lowest in the NFL. One completion. I guarantee you right now, 50 years old with a bad knee, I can get one. Because the way that I'm protecting, I have one of them numbers from 1 to 20, 1 to 19 on. They can't hit me. I get me a completion for 20 yards, Skip. I get me one in 3 games.
Okay.
Exact number that Dak Prescott had. One completion of longer than 20 yards. Are you embarrassed to say that's your quarterback? Are you embarrassed to say that's your team?
I got a better question for you. Are you embarrassed you just picked Dallas to win after all you just said?
I got Zeke, though. Zeke's going to win it. Zeke's going to win it for me.
Really?
Yeah, Zeke going to win it for me.
Oh, in the age of throwing the football, you're going to run the football.
Well, you better get rid of Zeke.
Oh.
You better get rid of Zeke, then, if you're going to throw it.
Really? Interesting.
Your best, normally what they do is they try to put the ball in their best player's hands, Skip. That's what most teams do. Put the ball in their best player's hands.
Tell me when you're finished.
It's your turn.
Thank you. So, this just makes me sick.
What?
This is just pathetic. I'm going to remind all those Shay Sharp fans out there, all those easily amused and easily misled fans, that on Tuesday of this week, right here on Undisputed, we did a topic in which we reacted to USA Today's power ranking, placing Dallas at 27th.
Yeah.
27th out of 32 teams. Is that bad? That's pretty bad. And Shannon Sharp's opinion was that's not bad enough, that they should be below 27th. Below 27th. But then he flipped around. But you know why he flipped? Because during that discussion, I stood by my team so strongly that I told you then, I'm predicting early, Dallas will beat Detroit. And I said it with such conviction that it scared you.
No.
And you started thinking, uh-oh, how am I going to get out of this one?
What do you mean get
So, I know how I can do it. I got it now. I can pick Dallas, and that way I cover my bases. I definitely cover my backside, because then I can come in on Monday if Dallas somehow wins, because I'm afraid they might, and then I can say, well, I picked them, right?
Hold on, Skip.
Yeah.
Detroit did lose to the Jets. They lost to the 49ers, so we're not talking about world beaters.
These are the Detroit Lions that just destroyed New England on Sunday Night Football. They destroyed them. It was 26-10. It was in first downs 25-12. It was holding Tom Brady 2 for 9 on third down. It was absurd. It was 414 yards for Detroit to 209 for Tom Brady. That's destroying Tom Brady and company, because it's really Tom Brady or bust in New England. We're about to talk about that in just a moment.
What are we going to do about Detroit?
After that,
I mean,
26-10, and yet Shannon Sharp says the Cowboys are actually worse than 27th, but I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Detroit Lions. And by the way, I alluded to the ESPN ranking of receiver groups. This is minus the tight end. Detroit's receivers on that list are ranked fourth, because you got Marvin Jones and Golden Tate and Kenny Golladay. That's a pretty good threesome, and the description on the ESPN website was they're good enough to be ranked first in the NFL.
No, they're not.
So I'm just saying the Rams are first, but I don't know. Those are three really good ones. In fact, they're all three so good you could make the case that any of the three is the number one. They're all number one worthy for Matt Stafford. And Matt Stafford is going home, and he's had some big games at Jerry World before. He had one huge comeback where they were hopelessly down. He had Megatron then. But
yeah, what about the game they got robbed? In the playoff game, where they picked up the pass interference. You remember that game?
Yeah, that was a Matt Stafford game. Yeah, they got robbed. I agree with you. That was the same year as the other robbery. But the point is that Detroit is no joke. And yet Shannon Sharp is picking Dallas to beat Detroit when he says Dallas should be in the 30s. That's what you said the other day. They should be in the 30s of ranking. So how do you reconcile that? Because I can't. I think you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. And we know you eat a lot of cake.
I don't like cake.
Yeah,
I'm on the pie train now.
Okay.
But anything.
You want your pie and eat it too.
So what are we going to do about the Jets? Did the Jets go to Detroit and destroy them? Or are we going to just gloss over that?
That was
did they lose?
A long time ago.
Skip, it's only the fourth week of the season. Okay, what about San Fran? What are we going to do about that?
Well, all I know is they're coming off maybe the biggest win in recent history. Recent lines. It's according to Rob Parker, Mr. Detroit, that's Matt Stafford's only signature win was last Sunday night. You don't think he feels pretty good about himself?
He does, and I give you that, Skip. But we're not talking about the Lions as if they're world beaters. They won the game, no question about it. But they're last in rush defense for a reason. They give up the most highest yards per carry for a reason. So you're going to take one game and just gloss.
Really neat. I thought New England could pile up some rush yards and control the clock, and they got 89 total yards, and they lost time of possession 39-21 to Detroit.
So what are we going to
really?
When has New England ever been able to run the ball with authority? Okay, they'll have a game where LeGarrette Blount or
LeGarrette Blount, they could definitely run it with authority.
But they were not a team. They were known as Tom Brady team, and a lot of the passes to Deion Lewis, who's now in Tennessee, and to James White and those guys, that was their run game. But they're not running the football, 25, 30 times per game. Tom Brady's more apt to throw the ball 30, 35, 40 times and for them to win. So I'm not going to get, oh, man, did you see what they did to New England? That's the worst thing you can do is overreact. You do that a lot.
I never overreact.
I'm just saying, look. Now,
I pre-react. I tell you what's going to happen before it happens.
No, you don't. And you be wrong. You be wrong. Because I told you they were not going to make the playoffs.
I told you I was scared to death of at Carolina, and I did not love at Seattle, but I love them to beat the Giants, and I like them to beat Detroit.
Oh, you like them to beat Detroit?
Yes, I like them to beat Detroit because they're no jokes. The Giants are not very good. The Lions have potential to be an 8-8 team, which is no joke.
So you don't think the Giants have potential to be 8-8?
I don't like them. I just don't like Eli. I told you that.
I
don't like the offensive line, but I told you that going in. I pre-react.
But you say you don't even like your offensive line.
I don't like my offensive line. I'm scared to death of them, and that's my X factor going into this game. So yet again, this is another sink or swim turning point for my Cowboys because you fall to 1-3
at the quarter pole.
You're done
at the quarter pole.
Well, Tim Tebow brought a team back from 1-3.
Man, stop talking about Tebow. I'm talking about your Cowboys, Dak, and you told me Dak is better than Tebow.
This is a winnable home game. And I believe they will win it because both Dak and Scott Linehan, the current offensive coordinator, maybe he's not going to last much longer, but they both said this week, get ready to see a lot of new things. Well, I'm getting ready to see a lot of new things, but I don't want Zeke to carry it 30 times.
Why?
I don't think they need him to carry it 30 times because I want to see, number one, more read option carries for Dak Prescott. I've told you that before. That's what happened against the Giants, and I got to see it again. I need him to carry it 7 or 8 times in this game. Rollouts, however you want to do it.
You know what, Skip Bayless, I'm seeing? You know why you don't want Zeke to carry it 30 times? Because you don't want him to be the reason why they win. In order to validate you and Dak Prescott.
I just want him to win. That's all. I just want him to win.
What's going to be required is Zeke to carry the ball.
Yeah. And I also, as I first guessed this, I need Ezekiel Elliott to have more caught passes, not more targets, more caught passes, because he hurt them badly the other day with the drop on 3rd and 9 and then the step out of bounds canceling of the touchdown pass that should have made it.
He got caught. There wouldn't have been no touchdown. He got caught.
He did not. He waltzed and he backed it. He moonwalked into the end zone.
Hold on.
Are you kidding?
Were you talking about the receivers? Cole Beasley said something.
Cole Beasley said, I guess it was yesterday, that we are getting open. He just left it at that. He said, that's not the problem. We are getting open.
What is he implying?
He's implying that Dak Prescott is not finding open receivers. Or he's implying that the offensive line isn't giving him enough time to find open receivers.
So just so I'm hearing you, he said, you look at the TV copies and it doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
So either one or two things, because when I criticize the Cowboys, this guy, one Skip Bayless, says I'm a hater. People be on my Twitter when I criticize the Cowboys, I'm a hater. So now, Cole Beasley just said, we're getting open, implying, inferring, referencing, it's not us. So is Cole Beasley a hater?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, Skip, but don't do that. Skip, don't do that. You tell me when I say something that you deem as negative towards your Cowboys, I'm the president of the Cowboy Hate Club. Cole Beasley just took a no, that wasn't no swipe. He punched your quarterback in the throat.
Okay.
In the throat.
All right, I'll say what I said before the New York Giants game. Challenge accepted. I'm accepting the challenge.
But he said it. Did he say it?
Prescott.
Did he say it?
He did, but I don't know if he's inferring that the offensive line is too leaky or it can't protect. Because I'm watching Jared Goff last night. He could order pizza, man. He's got so much time in a nice, clean, comfortable pocket. How about I throw it? Oh, I'll wait for Cooper Kupp to break it over.
Skip, here's the thing.
In fact, Jared Goff went off after the game. He said, my offensive line was great. I just stood back there all night long and waited for the next guy to come
here's the thing. Most of these quarterbacks that can pass the ball were proficient at passing the ball in college. Dak Prescott ran the zone read. Dak Prescott was not known as a thrower of the football.
Thank you for making my point, because he's a really good thrower, but he's also a really good runner. And he's got slick ball handling skills, and he is he is a great decision maker on the read option. It's not easy to do, and he will slide, but he can take the punishment. He's got to run it 7 times. We need to roll him out. We need to get 5 targets to Bryce Butler. His favorite receiver last year is back on this roster. He was not.
Is he playing?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. But we will see. But he needs 5 targets because he averaged 21 yards a catch last year. And Ezekiel Elliott needs to catch 5 for 65. That's what I want. Because right now, of all the starting running backs in the National Football League, he is league worst in yards per catch.
So you believe Ezekiel is going to average 13 yards a catch?
Yep, 5 for 65. That's what I want, because one will break for 25.
And he keeps talking about slick. Oh, Dak got slick ball handling skills. So does Hot Sauce in the Professor. And one mixtape. But Skip, can't he throw the ball down the field?
So I need Zeke to carry it 20 times. He's averaging 16. I'll go 20 for 120. That's what I need, because it looks like he's rounding. He's playing his way into shape, which he was not in at Carolina, and I'm not sure he was in shape against the Giants. Second half,
If you don't mind me asking,
at Seattle.
If a 23-year-old has to round himself into shape,
you know how he is.
Okay, but let me ask you this: what's it going to be like when he's 25? When he's 26?
I don't know. I'm only concerned about this Sunday.
Well, you
That's
should
all I
be
care about.
well, you should be very concerned because if your quarterback throws the ball as much as you want him to throw it, you're going to be in a heap of trouble.
Okay.
You better let Zeke Elliott run you home. Run him home,
I
Zeke.
need him to
run him home
to catch me home.
Skip, that's not what he is.
It is what he is.
Todd Gurley is that. Alvin Kamara is that.
Remember, I said this. I'm ahead of the curve as usual, but I'm also going to say one more time. Last year without Sean Lee, we went 1-5. 1-5.
So
There's no Sean Lee, but the guy I have ridiculed, Leighton Vander.
Oh, you like the tackling Dutchman.
You know what? He started to win me over in the second half of Seattle. He had to play the whole second half, and they won the second half 10-7. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe.
Okay, right now, would you rather have the tackling Dutchman or Calvin Ridley?
I'd rather have Sean Lee.
Skip.
I would. Healthy.
You'd rather have Luke Kuechly or Bobby Wagner, but you can't have one of those guys.
All right, guys, let's move on to the team that the Lions beat last week. The Patriots are trying to bounce back from 2 straight blowout losses when they host the undefeated Dolphins. Tom Brady and the offense have struggled, and New England's defense has allowed over 400 yards per game. The Patriots are trying to avoid a 1-3 start for the first time since 2001. Shannon, will the Patriots survive this game?
Of course. It's Tom Brady. It's Coach Belichick. That's what they do. Just when you think everybody thinks they're counting them out, they put the sheet over them, and the next thing you know, they raise up like the Undertaker did in WWE in SummerSlam. No, Skip, they're not done. You know they're not done. I know they're not. You know I know they're not done.
Have I spoken yet?
No.
I don't.
I didn't ask you to speak. All I said is you know and I know, because we know you.
Do I get to answer that? Because I haven't.
Eventually, when it's your turn to speak, it's my turn right now, and I'd appreciate it if you stop interrupting me.
I can hear people changing the channel right now.
No, won't you sit there like Brett Kavanaugh and just let me ask my question?
I'm Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah?
And let me ask my question. Let me ask my question. So you want me to take Ryan Tannehill over Tom Brady at home? The last time Tom Brady lost a game in which he played, he didn't even play all the game.
He
14-1 at home against the Dolphins. And last time the big guy beat him, you know who the coach was, Skip? Old Saint Nick. Got him a win. He got him a win. Hey, look. The Dolphins have played well. They've done some things, okay? But I'm not betting against Tom Brady at home.
Really?
It's hard for me to pick against Tom Brady at home because I know what he represents, especially against AFC teams, especially against AFC East teams. You know, very, very, very rarely. If you look at the resume, the dude's only lost like 50 games in his career. He's been playing 18 years. So that means he loses even less at home. I'm not convinced. You look at, William Hayes, torn ACL, he's out. Andre Branch, unlikely to play. Cameron Wake, he didn't practice this week. Okay, so who gonna stop Tom?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I know too.
Who's he going to throw to? 3 guys from Dorchester?
Those same Skip, I'm tired of you doing this. You do this every time. When Tom Brady goes on one of these magnificent performances, you talk about how great he is. And he's still throwing to those unnamed guys. But the moment he loses, Tom Brady doesn't have any help. I'm tired of you doing that, Skip Bayless, because you try to do it all the time. And when I try to tell you that about LeBron, the first thing you tell me, but J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver's one of the greatest three-point shooters ever.
He is.
Okay. Okay, with those guys that he's losing with, those are the same guys that he's won championships with. The very same guys. Yeah, it's your turn now.
Thank you. So, Alex, something happened earlier this week on this show that rarely happens for me because Shannon Sharp, as usual, stepped in it, and I said, I'm going to have to plunge on this one. I have to close my eyes and swallow some of my pride because I do love me some Tom Brady. At least I love him as a football player, not off the field. I'm just talking about as a quarterback, I love me some Tom Brady.
Okay.
And Shannon Sharp was disparaging those Dolphins and saying they were basically garbage and they had no chance at New England. And I'm thinking, really? Brady or bust? And you're saying the Dolphins have no shot at 3-0 going up to Foxborough where they're now 1-2?
But you've always said it's Brady or bust.
Oh,
you don't want to give anybody no credit.
All-time worst. This is the worst ever because he doesn't even have any help from his head coach who's gotten exposed. He's lost his fastball on defense. That's what I'm seeing. So what did I tell you earlier? The spread was 7 at that point. It's been bet down, but it was 7 at that point. And I said, you give me the Dolphins, and give me 7 points, and I'll take the Dolphins.
I'm gonna take you the spread, whatever the spread is.
Yeah. No, it was 7. We locked it in that.
No. The spread come down.
Nope, 7. 7.
It's come down, though.
Do you realize how this works? When you go bet, you bet it at whatever the spread is at the moment, and we bet it at 7.
Okay.
And by the way, it opened at 9.5 and got bet all the way down to 7. So technically, I deserve 9.5.
No, you
I'll
don't.
just
No.
take 7.
That's all you
But
get.
now it's been bet down to 6.5 because most people out there are seeing what I'm seeing or not seeing.
I get ties too.
Yeah. And by the way, this happened only one other time in my career. It was back in 2011 when I was at ESPN, and my boss, who was a crazy Patriots fan, said that Tom Brady would destroy Ryan Fitzpatrick at Buffalo in, I think it was week 3. Yeah, week 3 at Buffalo. And I said, I don't think he's going to destroy, because Ryan Fitzpatrick had a hot hand in the first 2 games. Mm-hmm. So I took Buffalo straight up, and Buffalo hung on to win 34-31 because Tom Brady threw 4 interceptions in that game. I do not think he'll throw 4 interceptions this Sunday, but I do believe that they will hang on to win 23-20. So I want my cake and eat it too, because I want Brady to win the game 23-20, but I've got 7 for another case of Diet Mountain Dew. You're down 11 right now. So it will go to 12 off this, because I thank you for making that bet.
Can I get another one? I bet Tom Brady scores more than 23 points.
No. I got my one bet, and I like my bet a whole lot.
Okay.
And by the way, I didn't get my Cowboys score. I said they're going to win 21-17. So I got the 2 scores kind of in the same ballpark, kind of like mid-range scores, close, down to the wire. But obviously, Tom Brady is up against it because he lost Rex Burkhead. He has no credible running game. Sony Michel's not ready to be that guy.
James White?
Yeah, James White. Really? Running the ball between the tackles?
Right.
Okay.
You didn't say anything when that Super Bowl when he caught 14 passes.
Yeah.
You didn't say James White.
Yeah.
You didn't say that then. Now, all of a sudden,
But
they're
he's
struggling.
more of a catcher than a runner.
And Tom Brady is more of a thrower. So he'll throw him the ball.
Yeah. And so now this wide receiver group is just waiting for the return of the former 7th-round draft choice, who was a quarterback in college, Julian Edelman, because he's going to be the savior of the wide receiver group. Because as you pointed out, Tom Brady had to watch Brandon Cooks light it up again last night, and he's got to be saying, I don't have him. And my little guy, Danny Amendola, he's a Dolphin. So he's coming for a little revenge on Belichick. He's going to be wearing the teal and whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He might do a Kendrick.
Yeah.
He might stand up there and say, well, this is what we do on offense. This is what they do.
Yeah. Okay.
They put them lights on him.
And Bill Belichick's defense, I'm going to remind everybody, gave up in the Super Bowl 538 yards and 41 points. And then at Jacksonville, 480 yards and 31 points. And at Detroit, 414 yards and 26 more points. And on 3rd down over that stretch against those 3 opponents in those 3 blown out games, Bill Belichick's defense has given up 27 third downs and 44. That's 61% where people are executing and converting third downs. 61%. That's terrible. So right now, they're the 3rd worst in the NFL, because I counted the Super Bowl from last year, but they're the 3rd worst in third down defense. They're the 2nd worst in sacks because they just can't get to the quarterback. They do have Trey Flowers probably coming back. That'll help a little bit. And they're 4th worst, of course, in time of possession. Tom Brady has to play with one hand tied behind his back.
No, he
It's
doesn't.
like he has to play left-handed. That's what he is. And he's a right-handed quarterback having to play left-handed.
See, you take the totality of it, and you really put a lot of emphasis on that Super Bowl. But how many third down conversions did Jacksonville get in the 4th quarter when it mattered? Because you say that's the money quarter. How many third down conversions did Atlanta get in the 4th quarter in overtime? How many third downs for Seattle in the 4th quarter? When you say that's the money down, all you look at, all you want to do is, he gave up 41 points to a backup quarterback, or he did this.
I just started with the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So in 3 of the last 4 games, it has been a disaster on defense.
Okay, but Tom Brady is allowed to score 42.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is allowed to score more than 10.
Throwing to whom?
The same guys he threw to that he won those championships with.
A triple-covered Rob Gronkowski?
The same guys that he won the championship with. Those are the guys he should throw the ball to. The Chris Hogan that had 7 for $128 and 2 touchdowns, throw it to him. James White, the one that had 14 catches for 120-something yards in the Super Bowl, throw it to him. Those same guys that he throw it to when he wins, don't make no excuses when he loses, because I know you do that, Skip. You think you're slick. You think you're real slick. You think you're ill over there. Yeah, you do. But I know you. I've been watching you. Been watching you for years. I've studied you. Yeah, I've been studying you.
You need to do a little more.
No, I don't. I do enough homework. I ain't got no life as it is. I need to stop studying so much.
Yeah. So, Tom Brady is going to have a hard time against a team that he always has a hard time against in Miami. And what happened the last time these 2 teams played? It was week, 14 last year?
They were in Miami. Miami.
I know, it was in
okay,
Miami.
Where's this game?
It was 27-20. Guess who the quarterback was for the Dolphins in that game? A guy you despise. You have no respect for Jay Cutler. He's gone and forgotten, right? So Jay Cutler beat Tom Brady in Miami the last time they
Everybody
played.
beats Tom Brady. He's lost like 3 of his last 4 down there, right?
And yet, I'm no big Ryan Tannehill fan. Before the draft, I was on record. I just don't like him, but he's played pretty well so far this year, and they've won 3 games. I don't know how they did it, but they've won 3 games.
Who?
So they got who did they beat? They're 3 Titans and at Jets and Raiders.
Chip, they beat the Titans after a 7-hour delay. They said the Titans were on the bus. The NFL made them get off the bus. They were exiting the stadium, Alex. The game was in a rain delay and a thunderstorm or delay so long. They had them get off the bus. They all Titan go out there and finish the game. So stop it, Skip.
Titans just beat the Jags in Jacksonville. Wow, pretty interesting.
That says more.
In fact, your Eagles and walk it to them, they're in for it. They got a tough game. They're at Titans now.
Skip.
Watch what happens in that game.
That says more about the Jags offense than it does anything. Okay, the Titans. But that's not here.
The same Jags offense that torched Belichick's defense? Yeah. That one?
This game, you keep talking about what they do, what happens to Tom Brady in Miami. Will you tell the people at home, because they don't have the schedule in front of them, where is this game being played? No. Where?
It's at Foxborough.
Okay,
fortunately for Tom Brady, because he couldn't win a game anywhere else. But with one hand tied behind, playing left-handed, he will win this game 23-20.
Stop doing that, Skip. Stop it.
He may have to run with the ball. I don't know.
First of all.
Seriously.
Baby Giraffe running Tom Brady is not running with the ball.
He's only the greatest quarterback sneaker in the history of pro football. History. You can take that to your bank, Alex. Nobody gets stopped.
What does that say?
Well, I don't know. It's pretty good, Baby Giraffe.
I'm just saying,
he sticks that long neck right over that first down line.
This man come up with a stat. He'll find any way he can to praise Tom Brady. He's the greatest quarterback sneak guy.
No small accomplishment. Those are big first downs, right?
Really, Skip?
Yes, really.
Really? He's the greatest quarterback at drawing people off sides. Who said, he's the greatest quarterback ever at drawing people off sides?
That's Aaron Rodgers.
Said no one ever.
Aaron Rodgers is the greatest trickster ever. Because that's the only way he's going to make a first
I can't believe, Skip, why would you do that? I just want you to stop making excuses.
So here
because
comes
when he wins, look who he's doing it with. When he loses, he don't have anybody. The same people that he's winning with, he's losing with, and you blame everybody except old Tom.
What's your score? 42-6?
No, I say they win 9. I'll say 27-16. I'll say 27-17.
27-17, so they're going to win by 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll win. And I get my due.
You would get your
I get my due.
So we all agree that Tom Brady's going to pull it off.
I always get my due on this show as in DUE because
what?
People know. I get my due.
No, you don't get your due. No, you don't do.
DUE.
No, you get nothing. Nothing.
All right, we are switching gears. Why is LeBron going after the media in L.A.?
Yeah, why?
We'll discuss that next.
You know why.
LeBron.
Today's Best Western rewards you in a flash. Get a free night pass with points that never expire at over 4,200 hotels worldwide. And get double rewards points on every stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Oh, wow. Look at you. You got a Ram. What made you do that? A lot of reasons.
A comfort you wouldn't believe. Luxury everywhere you look. Not to mention legendary Hemi V8 power.
Maybe I should switch.
More people are switching to Ram trucks than ever before. And now get $1,000 bonus cash if you make the switch during Ram Power Days. During Ram Power Days, get an average $10,433 in total values on select all-new 2019 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
Your hair's so soft. Did you use Head & Shoulders 2-in-1?
I did, Mom. Want to try it? It intensely moisturizes your hair and scalp and keeps you flake-free.
Manolo, look at my soft hair. I should be in the shop now, too. Try Head & Shoulders 2-in-1.
Lemonade.
I'll take a cup. I got this, kids.
1 cup of lemonade.
Thanks. Time to pack up. Let's go, kids.
Thank you.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Get every live game every Sunday at no extra charge when you switch to DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Here's a good Halloween trick. Buy a bunch of Reese's. There you go. Turn off all the lights in your house. Yeah.
and they just don't answer the door. Sorry, Reese's.
Most people still think that Arby's only serves roast beef sandwiches. Well, if that's the case, we sure have a lot of odd-looking roast beef sandwiches. This roast beef sandwich looks a lot like a smoked brisket sandwich. This one here looks like a Reuben. Uncanny. And these are the strangest-looking roast beef sandwiches I've ever seen.
I agree, Chef.
Thank you.
Arby's, we have the meat.
For sandwiches.
You know, my car isn't that different than your car.
We both stop for routine maintenance to keep them performing at their best.
And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetic from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetic. Make the switch.
The MLBN on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
Now, more than ever, we viewers need someone we can depend on.
Dr. Paul is amazing.
A hard-working man.
Nobody cares for the animals like he does.
Who can bring us all together and make everything and everyone feel better. That's why Dr. Paul is our choice for America's best.
I'm going for it. Thank you.
Vote for the incredible Dr. Paul. New episode tomorrow at 9 on Nat Geo Wild.
I'm Dr. Paul, and I approve this message.
FX, what does this symbol mean?
Holy moly!
That I do know.
You knew that.
I did know that.
That is definitely bigger than the last one.
Critics hate Mayans is exactly what Sons of Anarchy fans have been gearing up for. And a refreshing rush. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Come on.
Mayans, all new Tuesday at 10 on FX.
Undisputed is sponsored by DraftKings. Play free this Sunday for your share of over $1 million. Now, LeBron is getting used to his new teammates in his first week of practice, but the LA media is also getting used to him. During the season, LeBron wears number 23, but in practice, he's worn number 6. And that topic made LeBron a little testy yesterday. Take a listen.
You're wearing number 6. Is there a particular reason why you're wearing it?
I've worn 6 in practice for a long time. I'm starting to figure out a lot of you guys just not recognizing who I am, huh? I have no idea. I've been doing this for about the last 8 years now.
All right, Shannon, what do you make of this?
I'm beginning to get like LeBron. I'm getting frustrated, too, because I believe some of these reporters are plants. You know, sometimes you go to the Super Bowl, Skip, you've been there, the media day sessions, and they have people that are not really serious journalists, and they come out there and they ask you the most ridiculous questions. LeBron James says, like, when I'm going to sit down and give you my time, ask me serious questions. And this is not a serious question. Everybody knows LeBron James wears number 6 in practice.
No, they don't.
Well, they should have known. Do your homework before you go out there. Just like everybody knew when I was in Baltimore, I had on number 2 at practice. What number did Deion Sanders wear at practice, Skip Bayless? You know what number, Skip?
I don't know. I didn't know that you wore 2.
Yeah!
Nobody knew that except you.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. But, Skip, can we ask the man some serious questions? Well, are we asking about jersey? Why are you wearing this jersey? It's kind of like, I go back to a scene from A Few Good Men when they got Colonel Jessup on the stands. And they're asking him about phone records and Foot Lockers. He says, I hope you haven't pinned their cases to Foot Lockers and phone records. I hope. The best question that you can come up with is not about what jersey number he's wearing, not about what are you going to do to get the loyalty of the team. I noticed no one asked Peyton Manning when he came to Denver, Peyton, what you got to do to get the loyalty of the Bronco fans? Nobody asked him that. When Michael Jordan went to Washington Wizards, no one asked him, Mike, What you going to do to get the fans' loyalty? Nobody asked him, but they're asking these petty questions of LeBron. I ain't missing no point.
Yes,
LeBron James says these bull-jive questions.
Yeah.
That's not what he said, because you know LeBron dropped them curse words on you. He said these BS questions that you're asking me are beneath me. I'm the king, and you should ask me questions that are representative of somewhat my status. You asking me why am I wearing this jersey number? I've been wearing it since the Olympics. 6 was his jersey number. Am I correct here? Wasn't that his jersey number? 6. And he's been wearing it in practice with the Heat, where he wore 6 at the Heat.
Yep.
Wore it in practice. He go to Cleveland. So what do you got? Are you new? Excuse me. Are you new? Did you just get here? So you know nothing about LeBron James. Man, y'all need to miss that man with these questions. Stop messing around with these old petty questions. You love it because you want to see LeBron and you want to see his anagram start to show. But he composed himself, pulled it together.
I don't know.
Should have said, I tell you what, hey, do your homework.
His skin got real thin right there.
No, he should have said, hey, do your homework. Now you come back Monday and ask me these questions.
Oh,
I got something for you.
I've heard LeBron say that to somebody at the end of a press conference in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, right? He said, yeah.
Okay.
Because they keep trying to antagonize him. They don't ask Tom Brady these questions. Well, they do. But Tom Brady, you know, he'll hang the phone up on you and just walk off. Won't he, Skip Bayless? Won't he do that?
Somebody has to change.
LeBron
James, the quote-unquote best player in
Hey, no quote-unquote. You can take the quotes off. He is.
So, this is the third time LeBron has said something in reaction like, don't you know who I am? And these are not plants. These are L.A. media reporters. Trust me, because Alex grew up here, and Alex is a member of the L.A. media. And once upon a time, way back when I just got out of college, I worked for 4 years in the L.A. media as a reporter for the L.A. Times. So I know what it feels like to be part of that throng. And that throng is just like the New York media. It has a certain arrogance to it. And when you come here, they don't care who you are. They don't care what you've done, because until you win a championship here, you're nobody to them. You're just some other guy. I'm just telling you, there's an arrogance to it, like you got to do it for them here before you count here.
Probably explains why the newspaper business is going under.
Yep. But L.A. is different, and it's like Ernestine, every day, almost every day, she takes a walk from where he lives. She walks to doctor, dentist, or hair appointments in Beverly Hills. So she's often walking down the street of Beverly Hills. And almost every day she says, you won't believe who I passed on the street. Yesterday it was Maggie Gyllenhaal. She said, Maggie Gyllenhaal just walked right by me and nobody was even paying any attention to her because nobody cares. Everybody's a movie star. They're everywhere
or think
here.
They are.
Okay? Or think they are. But until you do it here for them, until you win a championship, because remember, Magic won 5 championships here. Kareem won 5 here. Kobe won 5 here. LeBron has won none here. So he's got to update his resume here.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. What jersey number he wears in practice have to do with him winning a championship?
Well, it was just an innocent question.
There's no such thing as
you started over, man.
We've lost our innocence. We've been lost our innocence.
Nobody was paying attention to what jersey LeBron wore in practice in L.A. Like, nobody cared.
Really?
Nobody cared. They cared about Kobe.
So why do you care now?
This is Kobeville.
Well, okay,
it's
fine.
Still Kobeville.
Okay, if you didn't care then, why do you care now what jersey number he's wearing in practice?
It was just an innocent, because the reporter thought, are you making a statement or what? What's up with, because aren't you, everybody.
Do your homework.
Isn't he 23?
Do your homework, reporters.
So LeBron thought when he inked a 4-year deal to come to Hollywood, that Hollywood would bow down and say, thank you, LeBron. We are grateful to you.
They have. You just read the credits. How many credits does he have? How many projects does he have?
18.
Okay, then. So Hollywood.
They're not grateful. He's been doing that all along. So he moved to Hollywood.
Whoa. So now, Skip, it blowed up your argument. Because you said he came to L.A. for Hollywood. So you said he's been doing this all along, huh, Alex?
Well, you need to be closer to all your contacts.
Why?
So that you can go to dinner with Pacino and DiCaprio at Avra in Beverly Hills, where you couldn't do that in Cleveland. I don't think they're going to fly to Cleveland and have dinner.
Let me ask you a question. Does Julia Roberts live here? She lives in New Mexico. Is she still doing movies? So in other words, you don't necessarily have to live here. Robert De Niro lives in New York, does it? So in other words, you don't actually have to live in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Bel Air in order to be in the movie business, huh, Skip Bayless?
It helps. It
Help,
certainly helps.
No, it helps if you're good, because if you're good, they find you. See, that's why I went to Savannah State. That's what my coach told me. Bill Davis, my former coach, said, son, if you're good, they'll find you. If you can act, they'll find you, no matter where you are, Skip, or where you live. So in other words, they need to get these plants up out of here. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
They're not. They're just kind of arrogant L.A. media members who...
What are they arrogant for?
For them, the epicenter of the world is Hollywood. It's here. You have to come to Hollywood and prove it before you are a made man.
He's not trying to prove himself. He's doing his
No, I know, but he keeps getting asked, like, what do you have to do to win over and...
Nothing. He's not auditioning for the Lakers.
Well, he is, whether he likes it or not. This is a brave new world. He didn't see this one coming.
Yeah,
he didn't see those two murals coming where they got defaced because he was depicted as being part of the Laker pantheon. He's not in the pantheon.
He didn't ask. He didn't. No. Guess what, Skip? You're right. He's not in the Laker pantheon. He's beyond that. He's in the pantheon of the
now
NBA.
You just made it harder for LeBron here.
Skip, did you know where the man came from? Born to a single mother at the age of 15 from Akron, Ohio. The streets, the hood, and you talking about made it hard. This is easy. This is the easiest thing LeBron James has ever done, was play a basketball. Hard was growing up in that life.
Okay.
So, as I'm saying, Skip, they need to
the hardest thing he's ever going to do in the context of basketball is win over Laker nations.
We ain't trying to win them over. You ain't got to like us. We just bring the championship.
Okay, well, they'll like you if you win
No. Because guess what? There are people in Miami that don't like LeBron, even though he left 2 championships there. There are people in Cleveland that does not like LeBron James, even though he left a championship there. There will be people in L.A. LeBron James going to leave a championship here or 2, and they won't like him. Not here to be liked. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to win a championship and douche y'all out.
You got to get used to this. He's got that look of, don't you know who I'm LeBron James? Nobody cares yet.
If nobody cares, I don't see them asking Josh Hart questions. I don't see them asking Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram. So if no one cares, why is he getting all the media attention?
Well, they're asking them questions too. I see Lonzo quoted every day. Big interviews. He had one yesterday.
No, that's the guy with the microphone that's standing up to the side. He ain't got no throngs of reporters around.
He's not a plant.
Right? Whoa. That guy was a plant. These guys are playing asking about jersey numbers.
Just to get under
asking about foot lockers and phone records. I sure hope.
It's funny.
I hope you got better questions than that during the season.
LeBron's in a brave new world.
Ain't no brave new world. Bron got this. Yep. I'm put a call into him today. At some point in time, LeBron, you got to say, hey, you got to tell him to kick rocks.
Tell him to calm down.
Kick rock. No, I'm calm. I'm calm.
Just tell him you got to go win a championship and you'll be good.
LeBron knows what he has to do. LeBron, like he said, he knows what to do, how to do it. Didn't you see the shop? He says he doesn't need anybody to tell him what to do. He knows what to do.
That shop is not in L.A.
That shop is in L.A.
Not maybe figuratively, but not really.
Don't worry about it. LeBron got this, but I want them players to stop asking bull-jive questions. Next day they're going to ask, LeBron, what type of underwear do you wear?
No, they'll say, where are you from, LeBron?
Are you wearing Lulu? Are you wearing Hanes, Fruit of the Loom? He's like, why you care?
Where are you born, LeBron? I'm from Akron, don't you know? No, we don't know.
Yeah, they do know.
I said I'm not surprised. With LA media here.
Thank you.
If you're not winning, he hasn't won yet here, there's so much to do. Once he does, every single person will be, every single
If you don't mind me asking, when was the last time the Lakers won here?
Well, that's the point, but I just showed you.
But they were still asking questions.
It's been a while.
They
weren't asking questions.
And Kobe won 5.
Hold on.
Hey, trust me.
How many championships did Kobe win his last 7 years here? Last 5 years here.
He's a made man.
No. We update resumes. Ain't no made. We update resumes in pro sports. No.
You're golden when you win one.
No, you're not. Now, we might look back on it once you're done and talk about, man, Kobe won championship, but not while you playing. You update these resumes. That's what we do.
Listen, when Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush won a national championship here, they were big deals. All of a sudden, they're Hollywood. It doesn't matter what sport you play. Just go win a championship.
You heard it in Hard Knocks with the Rams. When they moved here, they said that fans aren't going to come unless you win. You got to come here.
But the Rams hadn't won anything in 100 years.
It's just
they won in St. Louis.
LA media, LA
but it was 20 years ago. Come on.
But speaking of the Rams, are they clearly the best team in the NFL? Mr. Ram Eric Dickerson answers that question next.
They're better than the Cowboys.
Where Zeke and the boys will be waiting, or the Dog Pound Revival continues.
continues against the Raiders. It all begins with Fox NFL Kickoff, Sunday on Fox, and watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
It was love at first sight. Pizza lovers everywhere meet Oh That Good frozen pizza. 1/3 of our classic crust is made with cauliflower, but that's not stopping anyone. Oh That Good.
You know I like to keep it saucy. That's why I love McDonald's new glazed tenders. They're sweet, like me.
Oh, thanks, Grandma.
Ooh.
Ow.
Spicy, too, like me. Who invited you?
Your grandson.
Not in that jersey.
Introducing McDonald's Sweet and Spicy Honey Barbecue Glazed Tenders. Made with all white meat chicken, hand-tossed and glazed to order. They're the perfect combination of sweet and spicy, just like Grandma.
Before there could be a nation, there had to be people willing to fight for it, to take on the world's greatest challenges, whatever they might be. So the U.S. Army masters not only tactics and strategy, but also physics and chemistry. We make battle plans and create breakthroughs in medicine, science, and engineering. Our next mission could be anything, so we prepare for everything.
Hops are like grapes, special conditions of terroir, of soil, the growing conditions of climate and sunlight will produce unique flavors. A lager beer should be fruity, floral, and the flavors that we want in Boston Lager can only come from hops grown in this little piece of ground.
Say there was a new kind of place, the perfect place for the everyday things you need to take care of around the house. The squeaky hinges and burned out bulbs. The toilets that run and faucets that don't. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It'd be just the right size. It would be an Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their stuff. Welcome to the home convenience store.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hi, I just wanted to tell you that Chevy won a J.D. Power Dependability Award for its midsize car, the Chevy Malibu. I forgot, Chevy also won a J.D. Power Dependability Award for its light-duty truck, the Chevy Silverado. Oh, and since the Chevy Equinox and Traverse also won, Chevy is the only brand to earn the J.D. Power Dependability Award across cars, trucks, and SUVs 3 years in a row. Third time's a charm.
Golden Corral's Beef Lovers Banquet with our all-new bacon-wrapped sirloin filet, smoked beef brisket, portobello topped sirloin, and golden delicious shrimp. The Beef Lovers Banquet. Golden Corral, your choice. Rules.
My car? It's not that different from your car.
And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetics from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
With all the top designer brands under one roof, our expert stylists have you covered from head to toe.
Shop Men's Warehouse to replenish your fall essentials with buy one, get one free on select items. It's time to like the way you look.
Sunday, don't miss another great slate of NFL action on Fox at 1 Eastern. The Lions take on Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys, and later, Baker Mayfield makes his first career start for the Browns against the Raiders. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app, so check your local listings for the game in your area. Now let's get to last night's shootout. There was over 1,000 yards of offense, and Jared Goff had a career high with 5 touchdown passes and 465 yards in the Rams' win. 2 of Goff's TV passes went to Cooper Kupp, who had a huge game. Kirk Cousins threw 3 touchdown passes, but he was sacked and fumbled with just over a minute left, and the Vikings down by 7. The Rams are now a perfect 4-0 for the first time since 2001, and we are joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. You were there last night. You got to feel the energy. Did the Rams prove they are the best team in the NFL?
Get them, Rambassador. Well, you know I got to start off with that. The Rambassador is here today. For all you Ram fans, I'm happy to represent. Skip, I heard you say earlier this morning that you're not sold on the Rams. I'll say this much to you. If this was the Dallas Cowboys that were 4-0 and playing the way the Rams are playing, they're on their way to the Super Bowl.
So for me, yes, the Rams proved last night. If they're not the best, they're one of the best football teams in the National Football League. It's hard to play on a short week, and the way they played last night, you know.
Look at it.
He's a guy that is an excellent old guy, and he's a player's coach. He really is, and the players really respond to him. The play you saw last night, I think he threw the touchdown to Cooper Kupp. You could tell they have been working on this play. Now, when is the last time you saw Cooper Kupp run a go route? He's not that fast.
Right.
But you know what? They say, we saw the defense they run. We're going to get a matchup with Anthony Barr. There's no way a linebacker is going to run with Cooper Kupp.
Well, it wasn't really a go route. It's like a sneaky.
Call it what you want. It was still a go route. It was still a go route.
Wound up a go route.
Did he
came all the way across the field.
Yeah. Did he wind up a touchdown?
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. So I just got to say, for my Los Angeles Rams right now, if we're not the best football, I think we're one of the best offensive football teams in football with the most weapons.
I'll give you that.
So for sure, I'm going to let you have the floor, Steve. Whoever wants to talk. I have more, but I got to save it.
The design was unbelievable because normally what they did, they brought Cooper Kupp on the shallow cross.
All the way
Normally on the shallow cross, you just run, they throw you the ball. But he ran the shallow cross and he turned it up. Knowing the linebacker can take the wide receiver on the shallow cross, but when he runs the shallow and turns up, another thing is that they saw, hold on, Xavier Rhodes, he's an all-pro. But we like Brandon Cooks. He's a small, shifty guy. Xavier Rhodes is a big guy, physical guy. Skip, I was on Twitch last night. I was streaming the game. I say Xavier Rhodes going to have a problem with Brandon Cooks.
You were on Twitch?
Yeah!
Why would you do that?
What you mean?
Oh, because you were out and about.
No,
right?
I was at home.
Oh.
I got my own little setup. I got me a little like this. I got me a little studio, got lights and everything. Got me a microphone.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I do a little pregame, little game.
You got to see this setup.
Yeah, Yeah, all good. But the design.
Does anybody watch?
Yeah, they be watching. I'm building me a nice little base. But anyway, Skip, let me get back to my point. But anyway, Sean McVay did a great job. They took advantage and saw some matchups that they liked. They got Anthony Barr isolated on Robert Woods, got him isolated on Todd Gurley. Cooper Kupp took advantage of it. Brandon Cooks. Normally you don't see, we're going to stay away from this guy. No. Sean McVay said, no, we going at this guy. They played well. They're starting, and that's what you need, Skip. You need your stars to play well. Guys that you're counting on, they came up, they shone bright. And the Rams defense, they were like, First Cousins was going up and down the field. But this is why they played Von Miller. This is why you pay a Khalil Mack and an Aaron Donald.
Yep.
Bruh, we need to get off the field. Who's the one guy, Skip, that can go get home without sacrificing your back end? Aaron Donald. So what we saw last night, Skip, somebody's going to have their hands full. Now, this defense, okay, I believe when they get Talib back in about 8 weeks because he's on IR.
He's on IR.
They'll be okay. But offensively, that old Goff, the one he dropped in the bucket, the cup, he dropped it in the cup.
And the wood.
He dropped it in the cup. I like that term. He dropped it in the cup.
That was really clever.
Yeah, but I tell you what, where your guy throw it? Who your guy throw it to?
We're talking now about the Rams.
Oh, the Rams. We'll come back to the loaded.
And I got to address the Rambassador because I'm putting little to no stock in what I saw from your Rams because the opposition last night is not very good, especially on defense, where they're mostly a disaster. And it started in the NFC Championship game when Nick Foles torched them 38-7 at Philadelphia, and it continued against rookie starter Josh Allen, his first start. He scores 26, wins 27-6. 27-6 at Minnesota.
Right.
And then it kept on keeping on. And Jared Goff had a Hollywood night last night. He was lighting up the sky like spotlight passes across the sky.
You like the QBR?
Perfect. No, it's
perfect.
Beautiful. It wasn't perfect.
Quarterback rating.
Was 158? 158.
That's the quarterback
rating.
That's a bunch of...
No. That's the only stat that they keep.
That's what you like.
No.
I don't.
That's the only stat they keep. When you go into the Hall of Fame, they mention that quarterback rating. They don't mention QBR, Skip. I'm just saying.
So your Rams, I give them credit. They piled up 556 yards against a defense that I said it before the year. I said it's overrated, and I said if I had any guts, I would say Minnesota will miss the playoffs, and I didn't have enough guts.
That's because they had no guts. You know what, Skip Bayless? You was going to say that because they got first cousins.
That is correct.
Had they not got cousins, you
I'm going to remind both of you, if the play had been called correctly, the textbook takedown by Clay Matthews at Lambeau Field on Kirk Cousins at the key turning point moment of that game, that was a beautiful new rules takedown tackle. You couldn't do it any better. He braced himself with his left hand down on the turf and took him gently down, and Tony Crente overreacts and still throws a flag on the play just as Kirk turned into Kurt Cousins and heaved a blind intercept. He just threw it as far as he could, picked off, end of game. No, flag, 15 yards, game going. Tie. It ends up in a tie. The Green Bay Packers were robbed in that game, and Minnesota should be, and we all know this, 1-3, and they would be off not to the races at 1-3 because they might just miss the playoffs. So that offense, which is pretty good, it's Kirk Cousins, he will pile up some stats, and when you least expect it, he will blow up right on schedule. But wait a minute, he was 8 of 16 on third down against your defense, that vaunted Rams defense that added those two corners, obviously only one last night, but you got those two stud rushers in the middle of that defense, and it's 8 of 16 on third down. Do you love that?
You know what? You have to give the Minnesota Vikings some credit. This is the pro football team. They have some good players on that football team.
Thielen and Diggs.
Come on, you have to.
446
but
yards.
They're not playing against bombs. I mean, this is a good. Well, let's go to my quarterback. Our quarterback had 465 and 5 TDs.
I know.
5 TDs.
Against the overrated, terrible.
What did you say? If you had some guts, you would have won. I had to. Didn't I tell you we were going to be in the playoffs?
You had no guts. You're the Ram ambassador.
What are you going to say? With my team. Well, you stick with your team. Oh, let me ask you this.
I'm the cow ambassador over here. So I'm going to say.
Well, you got the cow town out of town too. That's what you. So y'all out of town.
The Cowboys going to make the playoffs. The Cowboys going to make the playoffs.
Huh?
They're going to make the playoffs?
Yep.
I'll tell you what. This will be our new bet. I bet you.
Well, now you.
I got you got me. I got you. Hey, I got you down. I got you where I want you at.
Okay,
I got you where I want you at.
That's guts.
I'll say
that took a lot of guts. You're 4-0, and I'm looking at 1.
I think I love my Rams. I say what? You have to wear my jersey on there, and I have to wear. What number were you? What number were you? I'll make a Cowboy jersey with your number on it. What was it?
14.
I'll be number 14 on here.
But Skip, you make it seem like the Minnesota's offense, they don't have any players. They got Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph.
You know, Thielen's underrated. He is really he's a player.
Dalvin Cook, the two white dudes. Because I know, Skip, I've been in the locker room. I'm gonna kill that white boy. I'm gonna kill him. Okay.
Wait a minute. He's not Julian Edelman. They split him out. He's a wideout. He can run. He ran 4.4 at a pro day, and nobody even knew who he was.
Because you sleep, because Skip, that stereotype, that myth is still there. Like, man, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna choke him out. Yo, you say the next thing you know, dude got 102 touches.
What happened? Just like Cooper Kupp. What, he had 165 last night?
Yeah. What did Kupp have? 162? 9 receptions?
I'll take
2 touchdowns?
Seriously, I'll take Adam Thielen over Cooper Kupp any day. I will. Adam Thielen is really good. He's like big.
Kupp ain't.
He's good, but he's sneaky good. You ignore him, and all of a sudden
remember you said Brandon Cooks. You thought we kind of stepped out there too far on that.
No, I didn't say you stepped. You stole him.
What we did?
No, he wanted the Patriots to keep Brandon Cooks.
But Skip, I like that. You know what? From the beginning, I talked to my buddy Roy Green in Arizona, and I asked him. I said, "Tell me about Brandon Cooks." He said, "Eric, this guy can run the whole route tree." And he said he's really fast.
Really fast? Like
he ran like 4.3.
He's an upgrade from Watkins. I'm telling you. And when I saw it when I saw the matchup outside, as soon as I saw it, I said 1-on-1. And when Goff dropped back, I said, "Oh, he got it." He got it.
But a little guy like that, you got to put hands on him. You can't let him go eat up the cushion too quick.
Xavier Rose, well, he did.
Xavier doesn't have this side-to-side quickness. But this is how Coach Belichick operates, Skip. he knows he's not going to be able to give Brandon Cooks top five.
Well, he could if
money.
he wanted to.
But he doesn't
He
want
could pay
to.
Danny Amendola
He
if he
doesn't
wanted
want to.
because he knows he's got the best quarterback in the history of football, and he'll just figure it out.
Yes.
Right?
The same thing he did with Chandler Jones. He wasn't going to pay him that kind of money.
By the way, you cannot overstate what happened when you're playing against Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins is going to give you the football when you least expect it.
It's not his fault. If he had thrown a pick skip, I would agree with you today.
Not his fault.
But he had the ball knocked out of his hands like somebody else in the Super Bowl, Alex. You know who had the ball knocked out of his hands in the Super Bowl?
Was it Tom Brady?
Skip.
Was it Tom Brady?
Don't stop me, huh?
Did you just compare Kirk Cousins?
I compared their situation.
All right, guys, we got to move on. And we're moving on to Skip's team. Will Ezekiel Elliott carry the Cowboys to a win on Sunday? We'll discuss that next.
Better hope so.
Fantastic freshmen clash in Lincoln as Rondale Moore leads the Boilermakers against Adrian Martinez and the Huskers.
Oh, my goodness.
Big Ten football. Tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
Uh-oh. Hey, Peyton.
Hey, Brad. It's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I know, Peyton. I can see you.
Is that a tour bus? You know it. We're going on the road, man. We're going to get some inspiration. Your next nationwide song is not going to write itself.
Are you outside?
Of course I am. Already got some ideas, too. We got to get the band back together.
We weren't a band, Peyton.
I'm pretty sure we were. Okay, great talk.
Band is back together. Two American icons are joining forces for a collaboration a century in the making. Budweiser and Jim Beam introduce the Budweiser Reserve Copper Lager, a rich lager aged on Jim Beam bourbon barrel staves with hints of vanilla and caramel rye, followed by a deliciously smooth finish.
Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and 4% on entertainment. Now when you go out, we cash in. What's in your wallet?
My car is a lot like your car. We both deal with the wear and tear of stop-and-go driving. And we can both rely on Pennzoil Synthetics from America's most trusted motor oil brand. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
Is it too early to start celebrating Halloween? Well, if you're celebrating by eating Reese's, then no. You're actually late. Not sorry, Reese's.
It's not the turbocharged engine or the panoramic sunroof. It's not the heated seats or the driver assistance features. No. Our greatest feature is one you don't even see. For 20 years, a portion of every Hyundai sold has gone to Hope on Wheels to help find a cure for childhood cancer. $145 million later, Hope is our greatest feature, and it comes standard on every Hyundai.
Most people still think that Arby's only serves roast beef sandwiches. Well, if that's the case, we sure have a lot of odd-looking roast beef sandwiches. This roast beef sandwich looks a lot like a smoked brisket sandwich. This one here looks like a Reuben. Uncanny. And these are the strangest looking roast beef sandwiches I've ever seen.
I agree, Chef.
Thank you.
Arby's, we have the meat.
For sandwiches.
Tim Allen is on a brand new network, Last Man Standing, tonight on Fox.
FX, what does this symbol mean?
Holy moly!
That I do know.
You knew that.
I did know that.
It's definitely bigger than the last one.
Vegas doesn't play by the rules. It doesn't care for stats, streaks, all-stars, and RBI. All season, they wait
Fox Sports app.
It's time now for Players to Look Out For, sponsored by DraftKings. The Cowboys are a 3-point favorite at home against the Lions Sunday on Fox. The Cowboys' offense has struggled so far this season, averaging under 14 points a game. Ezekiel Elliott leads the league in rushing, but he hasn't had more than 17 carries in a game. Earlier this week, he was asked about his lack of carries and said, quote, "You can't run the ball if you're down by 17 points." We are joined once again by Eric Dickerson. Eric, what do you expect from Zeke this Sunday?
Well, you have the Detroit Lions, who are the worst football team against the rush in the National Football League. Now, this should be easy. Run the football. Run it. I mean, 25, 30 times. Run.
Wait. How many yards did New England have on Sunday night?
Well,
a grand total of 89.
They got a Zeke. They got a Zeke.
They got a Sony.
You know what?
Well,
that's a TV.
The Lions are the #1 team against the pass. You know, and the Patriots are not a running football team. We're talking about the Cowboys, who they have Zeke Elliott, the second best running back in football.
Third now.
The first best is not going to be happy. He only got 83 yards last night. He's going to be an unhappy camper.
Why? He got but he can pass the yards. I mean, receiving
75. I mean, golly, the man had a good night. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. If the Cowboys want to win this football game, they need to run Zeke, really. But you can't fall behind. That's the big thing. That's even when you're going for records like 2,000 yards and win the rushing title. You know, if your team falls behind, if you're down 14-0 or 21-7, 21-3, you have to throw the football. And this football team has a tendency to fall behind, and they can't recoup. I mean, they're not a throwing football team. I think since last December, Dak hasn't had over 200 yards passing. I mean, and again, since December. So, I mean, and I like Dak, don't get me wrong. I just don't feel he has the weapons. And also, some of this has to fall on the head coach. That offense is pretty predictable. I told you this before, Skip. If you want to take our playbook and put the Cowboys logo on it, I will allow you to take a few plays, and the Cowboys can have a few of them. Not all of them.
But if you want Zeke to carry it more, doesn't that make it even more predictable?
Well, it's predictable anyway.
What do you want to do?
Put your best play.
You want to run reverses with Zeke?
No, didn't you say that he's going to lead the league in rushing?
I did.
Okay, well, here we go.
But Skip, a lot of times, a lot of the plays.
By the way, he is leading the league in rushing. Go ahead.
Is the season over?
No.
But here's the thing. A lot of the plays are repeated. They're just repeated out of different formations.
There you go.
Okay.
So, but here's...
I got it. But in the end, if you're just hammering 21 up the middle...
No, Skip, this is not old school 80s football where you just...
If they want to win against Detroit, they got to go old school.
Okay. 3 yards in the cloud of dust.
Hey, they got the worst run defense. That's what you want.
But that's what you have to do, Skip. But I will concede this to you, Skip. The Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones have done a huge disservice to that. Because if you look at the young quarterbacks, what do all the young quarterbacks have, Skip? Look at Mahomes, look at Goff, look at Wentz. Weapons. So you expect that.
They went and got Carson Wentz weapons. Last year.
Look at what Mahomes have. Look at Jared Goff. Skip, they went out and spent $80 million on Brandon Cooks when they had Robert Woods and they already had Cooper Kupp.
Right. I told you ESPN ranked the receiving groups this morning, and Rams are #1 in pro football.
But you want Dak to be this guy when you really don't give him guy tools or guy parts so he can show you what he's capable of doing.
His #1 receiver is Measly Beasley. That's what you got.
And he's not
seriously.
I know. You put him on the 3 quarterback team, he's not playing. Okay. He's not playing a snap, Skip. But so you don't have those weapons. The one weapon you do have, you need to use it. Okay, I get it. You got a bazooka. That's what Zook is to them. They don't have artillery that can confine space. So use what you have, Skip. They put this line together. They bought this line to run block, not pass protect, to run block. So I don't know why you got Dak dropping back and pass. That's not what Dak is. We don't know what Dak can do in the pass game because you don't give him weapons. So give him Cooper Kupp and give him some Thielens and some guys like that can run routes and can get yards after the catch. And maybe we can see Dak take that next step and throw the football. But until you give him that,
Okay.
You better turn around and hand that ball.
Hand that ball off. Hand that ball.
Turn around and hand it off.
By the way, to Zeke's contention that you can't run the ball when you're down by 17, at Seattle in the second half, they were down by 14 when he broke his 26-yard run, and they were down by 18 when he ran for 21, and down 11 when he ran for 19. Those are his 3 longest runs of the year so far when they were way down, given their offense, because it feels like they're 80 points behind, right?
Right.
So don't tell me they abandoned the run. They did not abandon the run, because those 3 carries are what vaulted him to the top of the NFL, just for the record.
Okay.
So I already told this man, and I'm going to tell you, I don't need Zeke to carry it 30 times. He can carry it 20. He's averaging 16. If he gets 20 carries for 120 yards, I am good to go. And to your point, the Lions against the Jets and at San Francisco, they gave up a bunch, 169 and 190. So you should be able to run the football on them. But my quarterback can run the football. He's got to run some read option. I want to see 7 carries, even if you need to roll him out. He can punish people. He can keep you on your heels if you let him keep the football occasionally and unpredictably, because the tandem combination, the dual threat of Dak, Zeke, Dak, that's what makes them way hard to stop. That's what makes them the best running attack in pro football. But at Seattle, his first call run came with 8 minutes left in the game. But that won't work. That's why you get behind. You need to keep people off balance with him. And you need him to throw the ball, and you need the running back to catch the football. Because right now, Ezekiel Elliott, of all the starting running backs in pro football, averages the least yards per catch, 3 yards per catch. In his rookie year, he averaged 11, and last year he averaged 10 yards. You need to get him loose on the edge. Get him out in space with the football, because he can fly. He is a 4.3 40 runner. So get him loose. You saw what happened. And he can't step out of bounds before he catches a touchdown pass. And he can't drop a third down pass that hit him right in the breadbasket that he could have turned up on Bobby Wagner and run 60 yards with. And you can't run 26 yards, your longest carry of the game, and then fumble in the middle of the fourth quarter at the 19-yard line. So a lot of the Seattle loss was on him. He's got to lock in and come to play. And the quarterback's got to be able to – they got to play Bryce Butler. You know how much I love Bryce Butler, and they got him back. And he averaged 21 yards a catch, and I know for a fact he is Dak's favorite target on that team. He has comfort. He has a connection with Bryce Butler. Well, you got to suit him up, and you got to play him, and you got to throw him 5 balls.
Wow, you can breathe now.
Mm-hmm.
You can breathe now. You know, when you talk about falling behind, that's not. You heard even Zeke say, when we fall behind, we can't run the football. That's a coach's decision. A lot of times when teams fall behind, coaches panic. They really do. They're like, I got to throw the football. I got to throw.
The truth was, go ahead.
Hold on. And also, you're talking about running Dak. You got to run Dak, but you saw what happened in San Francisco when a quarterback runs out of the pocket. You can't put your quarterback in a situation.
Okay, but that's just like a accident. It's like a freak accident.
But it's football.
Okay,
that can happen. But
Jimmy Garoppolo has to know once the play's over, just step out of bounds.
But when you
Did he not plant and try to cut back in bounds?
But when you start running these read options too much, like if I'm a defensive coach, I'm like, let him run it. We don't care.
Scott's 250 pounds.
And linebackers and defensive ends are a lot heavier.
He can do it. He can take it.
He can take those hits.
You
don't want your quarterback to the guy who wants to take those hits is 21.
Exactly. That's what you pay him for.
That's what you pay him for. Sometimes you just have to line the bazooka up and shoot the little ant. We've got to run the ball. If we're down by 14, just keep running. It's going to wear their defense.
The irony
down.
was, at Seattle, the best time to run the ball was when they were way behind, because Seattle backed off and started playing coverage, and all of a sudden it wasn't 8 in the box anymore.
That's the coach. That's what I keep saying. You've got to go to Jason Garrett.
But what about, how did you get down by 17?
Because Zeke stepped out of bounds. That would have made it 7-7. That's a touchdown. He stepped out of bounds before he caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah. Dak Prescott was under 200 yards. He's been under 200 yards 9 of his 11 games.
Troy Aikman averaged 199
it's a different
yards
game.
his whole career. Is he one of your brothers in the Hall of Fame?
It's a different game. You know that.
You know what?
That was a truly running football team with some great defense.
I think Ezekiel Elliott has Emmett potential. He's not that, obviously, but he could become Emmitt Smith. I don't know if he can last that long, because Emmett was unbelievable for not taking hits.
He was tough.
Okay, but
he's tough too.
My team is old school. They're doing it up upside down from my defense is really good, and it's just going to get better and better because it's so young. So all of a sudden, you're going to play defense and you're going to pound the football. Well, that sounds like that's from the 80s, right?
Yeah, but you're in the 2000s. If you think about it, there was the majority of the time, Emmett had more carries than Troy had pass attempts because they threw the ball early to run it late because that's when Emmett that offensive line leaned on you.
Only 7 years ago in Denver, Colorado, what happened in 2011? What happened? It wasn't ancient history. What happened? Tim Tebow took over at 1-4, and all they did really was run the football, right? They led the league in rushing, and they won the division from 1-4.
Skip,
wow. How did that happen?
You can win, but can you win long term? Okay. Can you win a championship?
I don't care. I just need to beat Detroit.
So let me ask you a question.
Like that. Seriously, I got to beat Detroit.
Okay, you win one game, but at the end of the day, are you trying to win games? Or a game, or you trying to get to and win the game?
There are different ways to skin this cat.
When you look back, when you go back and look at the Cowboys 2 years ago, what were they doing? They were a running football team. They were a running football team. This is still a running football team. I don't care how you
would even let
run the football until run until they stop it. You might stop it there. Defensive linemen, they don't like you to keep running the football. I mean, they got to run. I got to fight off this guy, fight this guy. They don't like that.
Just for the record. In his first 2 years in the league, Dak Prescott had 9 3-touchdown pass games. Does that count as throwing? Do you have to throw it to get a touchdown pass?
Of course.
So he's way better than Tim Tebow throwing the football.
But here's the thing, Skip. Thank you. This is the exact same football team with even less skilled players offensively than they had then.
All right. So there's not a number 1 receiver. There's not even a number 2 receiver. Okay. So you've got to skin the cat differently. This time
so
you have to run it. Run it and play defense. Run it and play defense.
We just told you to run it.
We just told you. Chicago. I mean, they're playing the Lions. What did I just tell you? They're the worst against the run. You run the football.
That's what I thought Bill Belichick would do, and he couldn't do it.
They don't have a lead.
They don't run the football.
And they don't have an offense. So let me ask you a question. Which offensive lineman for the Patriots is Tyron Smith or Zach Martin?
You know what? Their unit is better than this unit. As a group, as a cohesive group, New England's offensive line is better than mine. Mine's been overrated.
Would it explain why they don't have more rushing yards? And why didn't they protect Brady?
I don't know. They protect Brady okay. He just can't get anybody open.
Oh, but the same guys that got open that won Super Bowls, now they can't get open. You see that with Brady? When Brady wins, it's Brady. They lose, all the receivers terrible. He got some terrible receivers.
Eric, before we let you go, what's your prediction for this game?
I think the Cowboys win this game. I'm going to say 24-10.
Yeah, he made a fraudulent prediction. He doesn't think he's trying to cover his backside. He's picking the Cowboys, too, just so he doesn't have to come here on Monday and get shamed.
Who you picking?
I'm picking Dallas, but I did early this week.
He want me to pick the Lions that gave up 100 points to the Jets, He want me to pick them. And then gave up 40 to the 49ers.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to believe in them.
You picked Dallas huge last week at Seattle, and I told you this is going to be down to the wire.
Well, you didn't tell me that the Cowboys defensive line wasn't going to rush the passer.
Eric, bottom line to this whole discussion, we did a topic on Tuesday of this week in which we reacted to USA Today's power rankings, and Dallas was 27th, and he said they should be worse. They should be in the 30s, he said.
You remember?
And now he's picking them to beat Detroit easily.
Well,
guess what? That makes sense?
They can't stop. They can't stop the run.
And that's what the Cowboys do. He didn't tell you, but 2 weeks ago the Cowboys were 26th, and I said they should be lower.
Okay.
Just wait a second.
Detroit just punished New England. They just.
We all picked the Cowboys this week.
I just want to thank y'all for having the Ambassador on. It's a big day.
Thank you so much for joining us. Will we see more controversial penalties on Sunday? We'll discuss that next.